Here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. Yep, your boy's back, camera and everything. I know the other night everybody was so confused. They were like, oh no, he doesn't have a camera. What are we going to do? All he has is the lotion from the Diddy party. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? But yeah, we're going to go into, I've had a lot of buzz over the Brett Cooper thing lately. I've had a lot of chat, a lot of craziness, but I saw Brett Cooper uploaded. She uploaded. She's already at 1 million subscribers. Which is crazy. This is insane, dude. This is insane. When I launched my channel, I grinded my dick on the pole for a very long time to get to where I am at now. I have put in the work, put in the grind, and I've gotten here. Now, I'm not Giga Chad super relevant yet, but I put in the time streaming. I make my video game reviews, and I'm gonna keep pumping out that juice just like I do in the bathroom whenever I'm alone, you know. But let's talk about right-wing cancel culture. Now, this is something I have actually I don't know if I've talked about it too much, but I hate cancel culture. I hate it on the left. I hate it on the right. I just hate cancel culture. I hate when one side will be the champions of free speech, and then the next week, the other side will be the champions of free speech. And I'm over here like, why can't we just say whatever we want? Because that would be cool. I don't care how politically expedient the Constitution is for you at the moment. You should just be like, you're a part of our government. You should care about the Constitution. I have so many problems when it comes to both the left and right, and I'm excited to see this right-wing creator kind of blast the right wing. They need it. They need it. I mean, if you can't keep your own in check, then you're just a sheep following the rules. Now, we'll see how far she goes in on them. I don't know. I mean, this is her first video since leaving the Daily Wire, so I'm a little excited.
What's up, guys, and welcome to The Brett Cooper Show. I am so happy that you guys found me over here on this new channel. I am so excited to start this new chapter with you.
Found her, dude. They came in hordes, bro. They came in hordes, bro. They were waiting to come on her. I mean, on her channel. I mean, watch her channel.
You guys, we have been hard at work behind the scenes, literally boots on the ground, me and my 80-year-old neighborhood grandpa putting shiplap up on the ceilings to cover up my 90s popcorn ceilings that I thought you guys would not find aesthetically pleasing on a set. We're literally in a room at my house. We put this all together. Anyway, I am so excited to bring this new show to you and show you guys what we have been working on. So my goal with this new show is to foster understanding, to go deeper and extract substance in the stories and issues that matter most to us, the issues that impact us on a daily personal basis. And I have always said this, but I want to reiterate it, that I do not take for granted the fact that you guys take hours out of your busy lives to watch my videos, and I want to make sure that every single second of that time matters. I want to make sure that every single video I put out leaves you feeling more confident or empowered or smarter or more inquisitive about the world. And so
when you watch my videos, I want you to feel dumber. And I want you to feel like you have a bit of an erection and you're confused on to why. It was like, why did he talk about a menstruating tsunami? Why does that turn me on? I've never thought old women were hot that way before. And it's like, dude, because I understand you. And you're like, I never wanted a teethy blowjob. Nobody does, but sometimes you get caught in the braces. That's what I'm here for. Let her build up your ego and your ability to make arguments. Come to me when you want to come.
So because of that, we are going to be doing less frequent episodes. We're not going to be chasing the news cycle as much. I want to make sure that every single episode is intentional. This first season, in my eyes, is all about understanding where we've come from, where we're heading, and trying to fix the obvious disconnect between the generations, between values, and so much more. So I hope you are ready for even more hard truths, deeper dives than we have ever gone before.
I am ready to get more hard. I mean, hear more hard truths. I am, dude. I am. I'm ready. I'm ready for you, dude. Let's go after the right wing together.
For insightful interviews, and of course, lots of laughter and levity, because it would not be a Brett Cooper production if we were not having fun through it all. But for this first episode of season 1 of The Brett Cooper Show, I thought that we could just keep it simple and keep it between us. And I realized I just said keep it simple, but this episode kind of is not simple at all. It actually might get me into trouble, but we do need to talk about how the right...
Fuck it. Don't worry about getting in trouble. Just do your fucking grind, dude. Get out there and just shove your clam sandwich down everybody's throat and say, fuck it, I'm here, dude. And now the Daily Wire can't tell you what to do. That's kind of what I'm getting from this video so far, and I know that she's worried about, she's mentioning the controversy. Good, dude. You should start a little buzz. Like, this is what Shoe on Head does. This is is what Shuana has been great for years, is she's left wing, but she calls out things that the left that's cringe. So somebody needs to do that on the right. I mean, you have so many people just like buddying up, just in a long line of like gay sex and like some straight sex, depending on where the line of women to man ratio is. And they're just kind of like gooning each other, trying to get the same talking points out. It's nice to see somebody like step up and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to change. So I'm hoping this is what she does.
Runs the risk of literally losing everything that we've worked for if we continue down a path of mimicking the left's toxicity. AKA, we need to talk about right-wing cancel culture. But before we do, and you guys know the drill, make sure that you are subscribed to this new YouTube channel, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all new episodes of The Brett Cooper Show. And if you guys want even more content and ad-free episodes, click the link in the description below to check out my new subscriber-only platform. There'll be lots of information below. Would love for you guys to check it out. But we have far more pressing matters to attend to. All right, so I've been thinking...
Dude, I have to say she seems way more comfortable in this situation and way more happier than she did in any of her other videos. Like, she seemed like she was having a bit of fun, but look at like the shine in her fucking eyes, dude. Look how much happier she is. This is good. This is good. This is beating off the fucking corporate douchebags. You're no longer beating off the corporate douchebags. You're hitting them away. You're no longer jerking them off, is what I'm saying. No more hand jobs. Less hand jobs. More doing your own type of hand jobs on yourself.
About this topic since New Year's Eve, and I've known that I want to cover this on my first episode because it just keeps coming up. And it specifically came up on New Year's Eve after the actress and comedian Whitney Cummings did a set on CNN's New Year's Eve show. And if you missed it, just take a look.
2024 election fried our brains. The Democrats couldn't hold a primary because they were too busy holding a body upright. Kamala was forced on us so hard you'd think she was patented by Pfizer or Moderna, whichever one's, oh God. Andy just gave me a very scary look.
No!
I thought being a mom would mean that less people will want to come see me. I'm now playing, like 3,000 seat theater,
awesome.
Which is about the viewership of CNN these days.
I mean, it's so great. Like, this entire set, she is basically shocked they have not cut her off. You can tell that she's uncomfortable. She's like very tentative. She's taking a risk, making all of these jokes that are incredibly honest. They're incredibly genuine and insightful about the state of our world and the state of politics. And people loved it. Like, she went on for like 5 minutes and everybody was, again, literally in shock that she was not cut off. And of course, she immediately went viral on X. Some people had never heard of her before. They were so excited to find, another brave and honest comedian who was willing to push boundaries and make these kinds of very, relevant jokes. But what makes the story interesting is that people turned on her as quickly as they fell for her because they realized that 5 years ago when COVID was raging, she used to be very pro-vaccine and that she even had vaccine mandates for some of her live shows during that 2020-2021 period. You have some tweets here. You can see her talking about the vaccine, saying that, God, we need a vaccine. Can we make a vaccine now? Go, we need a vaccine. Chop, chop on that vaccine. Like, she was tweeting about this constantly. And immediately, people on X started calling her out. They were calling her a grifter and a fraud, saying that she was an opportunist, that she was taking advantage of this time.
Dude, this is such a problem too, that a comedian will come out and say shit and then they pull out their backstory. It's like if I were to like say something and then it's like, oh, we need to fucking bury him. I hate this shit. I always hated this shit. Like I do, like, I understand if somebody's like their whole point is just out there being a fucking vicious person. Like, take somebody like Mark Hamill that is constantly every day simping for politics, but then somebody comes out there, makes a few jokes, and then, oh, okay, we're gonna take up their tweets from 10 years ago or fucking 3 years ago or something to really, we're gonna really show them, we're gonna cancel them. It's fucking cringe, bro. Go pound sand up your dick hole, dude. Anybody who's doing this, it's pathetic.
Time and culture when things were shifting to the right to try to make a name for herself, they literally lost their damn minds. And again, this happened in a matter of hours. I watched her videos go viral. I was like, man, this girl is so cool. I've seen her on TV. And then suddenly everybody hated her. And it makes no sense to me. Like, they were angry that she had not issued a formal apology before getting up and doing a comedy set. Like, they were angry that her track record wasn't perfect. Like, guys, nobody in the world has a perfect track record. And more than anything, I think that we should focus on their actions. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
how I evaluate everything in my life, whether it is a politician or my meat delivery service, which is why I trust Good Ranchers.
Oh, dude, you want to talk about my meat delivery service? It's below average, way below average, super small. But I have a really good aim, and I bust really fast. So sometimes when I go into the room, I don't even have to deliver the meat. I just shoot from across the room and then impregnate a bitch. That's how I do it, dude. It's a super really good meat packing industry. I don't even have to pack. I don't even have to pack a punch, bro. I am playing COD zombies at such a high level, I don't even have to pack a punch. I just blast it right in.
Guys, did you know that 85% of grass-fed meat in our stores is actually not from the US? That's because the country of origin law was actually repealed in 2015. So now meat can be packaged here in the US, even get a product of the USA label slapped on top, but it's not actually born, raised, or harvested in the States. But with Good Ranchers, when they say that their meat is 100% American made, they actually mean it. You can trust that their meat is actually born, raised,
I've actually thought, okay, here's the thing. I've heard the Good Ranchers thing on other things, and I've thought about doing it, and then I just don't. Because I when I want a steak, I just go to the grocery store. I go to Publix, and I'm like, hey, give me a good slab of meat down my throat, big boy. Just slap it right in there. Give me some good meat in my mouth. Give me some good meat in my mouth. I want some good meat in my mouth. And then they do, dude. And then I go home and I eat my happy meat and I go on with my life, dude. There is a type of meat that I have to that I'm gonna have to special order. Not the type of meat you're thinking of. Not the type of meat you're thinking of. I'm just like, oh, he's King Jiffy Coats hiring male prostitutes. Go fuck yourself. Female prostitutes. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm there's like this thing called Basque chorizo. It's different than Mexican chorizo, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. I grew up in a very heavily populated Basque area, and just like I thought that everyone's barbecue in the world had Basque chorizo at it. It's like a bratwurst but better. And I was like, dude, when I moved out of my hometown, I was like, the fickety fuck is going on? Why isn't Basque chorizo everywhere? Why hasn't the world caught on to Basque chorizo? It's garbage. You guys need to get on your fucking grind. Everywhere needs Basque chorizo. If I was president of the United States, everyone would have Basque chorizo. It'd be the best. Nobody would be mad. We would have endless amounts of good meat tubes to go down your throat, tasty meat drip sauce. But I'm gonna skip her ad.
And support a company that actually follows through on their word. And I understand that people are upset because being angry about COVID and everything that happened during that fever dream of a couple of years, it's understandable. Awful things happened. I mean, the lockdowns, the vaccines, the being separated from our families, kids being kept out of school, it was a travesty. But we have moved on from that. And also we need to be real because think about who we just elected. Think about who we spent the last couple of years propping up and encouraging and fighting for. Donald Trump, the man who first ushered in lockdowns, the man who encouraged us all to get the vaccine and is still saying how amazing it is. So we can support him and elect him and stand behind him 100% knowing that he isn't perfect, he doesn't have a perfect track record, but a comedian that has changed her mind and is now bravely going on CNN to tell some mildly based jokes. That's not appropriate because she didn't apologize.
Dude, the fact that Whitney Cummings is on Kill Tony all the time, there's a difference between... This is what people don't understand. You are not supposed to agree with everybody on everything. You're not supposed to walk up to people and be like, oh, is your name Jeff? Yeah, my name's Jeff too. Jeff. Oh, you like having sex? I like having sex. Oh, what are your views on abortion? It's like, ah! And then you have different views, and it's like, oh, scary world. We can't be friends anymore. We have to be enemies till the end of time. And it's like, bro, dude, not everybody's supposed to agree with you on everything. That's fucking retarded. If you think everyone's supposed to have the exact same line of sight that you do, to have this mental issue that you think everybody has to agree with you on every single policy is just so dumb. It's so dumb. I see it all the time from creators where they're like, they use it as an insult. Somebody else voted for somebody else, and I think it's so cringe, dude. You should look at everyone who's gonna potentially watch your audience that they might have a different opinion with you, and that's okay. People have differences of opinion. People vote different ways. That doesn't make them any better or less of a person. You might think that like, oh, I don't like their views on this policy. Whatever, dude. Grow the fuck up. I hate it. I hate this weird little toxicity bubble we built in these little areas where everybody has to be standing in a circle jerk. I like having different perspectives where I can actually have a conversation about it.
Makes no sense. Like so many conservatives that we follow, that we all love, were misled or wrong about COVID. My mother, my tinfoil hat, Alex Jones watching mother who's literally building a bunker. I remember getting grounded in 2020 because I went to the beach with my friends in Los Angeles and she was like, you're going to kill me. You are going to kill me. You need to go out into the garage. I don't want to see you. Like literally was grounded because she thought that this was so serious. And it's okay that people were wrong and that things changed because we genuinely, most people, had no idea what was going on and what was actually true, what was real. So that is one point that I want to make. But most importantly, isn't the goal to change people's minds and bring them over to the other side and show them the light. Like, that is what my goal is. But now people are seemingly upset when that happens.
Dude, this shit happens all the time, especially with gaming. It's like, instead of being like, oh, dude, look how much cool shit I bought on my Xbox or whatever. Like, you're like, oh, dude, I just played this on Game Pass. Instead of people like, oh, cool, is it a good game? It's like, fuck you, dude, buy a PlayStation. Or you're like, oh, dude, PS Plus just had this. It was already on Game Pass. What the fuck are you talking about? It's so annoying, dude. These toxic gatekeepers that don't understand, like, oh, dude, you can have certain things on one side that you like and certain things on the other side you like, and then find kind of an appeal to both. And finding that middle ground, it's like, I'd say, oh, dude, I really like freedom of speech, so you're right wing. What? Oh, no. The right doesn't believe in freedom of speech. And here's some examples. I'm like, okay, I don't agree with, I don't like those people then. I don't like that they did that. All right, well, then you're not right wing anymore. I'm like, well, I mean, was I ever? I mean, you try to put people in these boxes and then you gatekeep these boxes. And it's fucking cringe, dude. I would rather go outside naked and yell, I'm a salamander, than have to fit into your fucking boxes.
Because these individuals who have come over weren't right all along. Like, we spent 10 years fighting tooth and nail, proving people wrong, fighting back against cancellations, dispelling allegations about us, about our political party, about things going on in the world, exposing corruption and lies day after day after day, trying to convince people. I thought that was the goal. I actually look at Whitney Cummings as a huge win, like a bold win, a refreshing acknowledgement of how far we've come, how many people have bravely, dipped their toe onto the other side, who have admitted that they were wrong and that they've now seen the light. That is objectively a very good thing. And I commend her, and we should all commend her, for having the bravery to admit when she was wrong and take a step to the other side. And again, a lot of people think that this is a grift. A lot of people think that it's not real, that she hasn't actually changed her mind. I completely disagree. Like, you can literally go back over the last couple of years and you can see where and how her mind started to change. One of my good friends, Chris Williamson, he has a podcast, Modern Wisdom. She has been on his show twice in the last couple of years. And in those episodes, she goes in depth about how being a mother changed her. She became a mother to a son, which made her rethink culture and society, specifically thinking about gender roles and masculinity, completely realizing that she has been lied to. And that was kind of a snowball effect into her changing her mind about everything else. She also did a podcast appearance more recently where she actually hit this political transformation head on. Just take a listen.
We are in a time where if you are on the left and you don't criticize your party, how much do you even care about your party? I don't think the left is as liberal as it used to. It's like the left became the party of censorship and my body, my choice, but you have to take this vaccine, and my body, my choice, pro-choice party, but you don't have a choice in your candidate.
So again, you are seeing her.
Yeah, dude. See, this is my problem with, like, the left has no... This is something that I've noticed for a long time, and I kind of argued with some people in chat when I did the Destiny video. When I dropped my Destiny video, I reacted to the whole thing, and I basically said that Destiny, like, deserves to be called out for this. And then people, like, criticized me just for calling Destiny far left, bro. And they're like, well, he's more centrist. I was like, dude, 5 years ago, he would have been insanely far left, but the left keeps, like, going further and further way the fuck out there. So if you were centrist but 5 years ago, all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck, dude? Why am I being called far right? I had this thing where I used to disagree with conservatives about censorship. I used to disagree with them about, like, gay marriage and stuff. But now it's like, you got all this other fucking wackadoodle shit that the left's doing that now I'm fucking in the right wing fully. And I used to be, like, libertarian, fucking middle, centrist. I was like, leave my guns and my free speech alone. I don't fucking care about any of you. And now that makes me far right, and that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you guys have gotten so fucking out there that and that's why Donald Trump won by the margins he won. It's not that people are turning conservative all of a sudden. It's that the left has gone so fucking far out there, and a lot of people don't realize this. And a lot of people are angry about why are people switching? It doesn't make sense. You got to look at the rhetoric and the identity politics that's going on in this, to where it's like, well, if I'm not a certain shade, or I'm not a certain sexual orientation, you guys hate me for some reason. It doesn't make sense. You want me to, like, be a little pussy and just agree with everything you have to say, and that's not going to happen. And when the right starts doing that too, and they do, I disagree with it adamantly then. You should not expect everybody to agree with you on every single policy. There should be a discourse.
Mind change. You are seeing the issues that forced her to rethink everything about her political stance and about her political parties. And I'm seeing all of these comments. I'm seeing people who are posting clips from this podcast and they're saying, Whitney, it's 4 years too late. It doesn't matter. You're not actually brave. I don't care when it happened. Like, truly, I don't. That's BS to me. I'm just happy that she's thinking critically about the situation and that she has gotten to a point where she feels brave enough to speak about it. Like, again, that is a net good, in my opinion. And so the point I'm making is that, yes, people can change. That is a good, normal, human thing that happens to all of us. And when you change, that means that you then come with a past. You come with choices that you've made and things that you believe that you possibly regret, that you would not believe or do now. That's fine. Like, genuinely, that is okay. That is actually very normal for every single human being. So why are we ripping somebody apart because they were 4 years too late?
Well, and you see, this stuff is on a pendulum right now, because the pendulum is starting to swing more right? So that's going to be the general consensus. You're going to have a lot more people that didn't have right-wing views that are now going toward more right-wing views because for so long, because of like tech censorship and stuff, you had such a hard swing to the left that now that it's moving back, you're having a lot of people that were more centrist before that feel like their party left them, and now they're moving toward the right. And when the right gets more powerful, and if we start seeing like a hard right-wing push, there will be a time where we're going to see a lot more shit like this. You're going to have some celebrities coming over because they feel like they're scared of cancel culture on the left for so long that now they're going to move over to the right because they're like, wow, dude, these guys aren't going to fucking crucify me every second. And now you have the right crucifying because now it's looking like the pendulum's going to swing back the other way. And all you're going to do is stop that momentum swing, which we need that. As a country, we need both the left and the right to keep those balances in check. Now, it sucks that we're only in a two-party system and there isn't in-betweens and stuff. But as it sits right now, we need that counterbalance to bounce between the two to keep us in check and keep us along the right direction. One party doing one thing will lead to chaos every single time, and I full-heartedly believe that.
Like, again, wasn't the goal to get people to this point? And so, in my opinion, the correct and the good thing to do is to welcome people like Whitney Cummings and understand where they're coming from and have empathy for the fact that, yeah, maybe it took them longer than some other people, but they finally got here. And that doesn't mean that you have to trust them implicitly and say, oh my God, here's your MAGA hat. Here you go. I'm going to follow you. And you're actually going to be our shining guide of a light for conservatism. No, like, that is ridiculous. You can
and that's what's happened too. That's what's happened with people like Rob Schneider and Roxanne. A lot of these people that before were just kind of maybe more centrist or a little conservative. Well, then all of a sudden, they find out they get canceled or something over saying having a hot take where the regular consensus online didn't believe with them, and then they get this cancel culture just fucking wave of bullshit at them, and then they shift way over to the hard right wing, and because they found a place that they feel safe. So now they're in this safe little zone that they're like, okay, well, I'm this zone now. This is my fucking lane. I'm staying in this lane, and it changes them completely in the wrong direction. I think once they start becoming just this fucking echo chamber of a party instead of what they originally were, just because they're scared of the other party and their vitriol, is so bad. That's not a place you want to be, and that's something the internet has created. And it sucks too, because I think Rob Schneider's really funny, but now that he's kind of on that god right-wing kick, it's like he lost all of his edge, bro, and he's kind of just insufferable. And it sucks too. Like I said, I really like Rob Schneider, and I think he's still funny at his core, but now he's like doing tours with Charlie Kirk and shit, and he just doesn't feel like Rob Schneider anymore because he's gone to this weird he went full MAGA hat doing all that shit, and kind of sucks.
Tread lightly and be cautious, but you also don't have to be nasty. You also don't have to be a troll online because they aren't perfect. Because I guarantee the people that are commenting these things about her are not perfect either. And more than anything, I think that we should be focusing on people.
Obviously, they're not perfect because if you're digging up everything somebody tweeted in like 3 years ago, you're a fucking clown. You're a clown. I'm sorry, dude. If you're going through finding every single little thing about somebody that they tweeted like years ago, you're fucking awful. Sorry, dude. I'm being straight up. If you're willing to go back 10 years to find dirt on somebody, you're a piece of shit. Like, it's internet stuff. This is all internet world. And you're just trying to destroy somebody in their career and their standing because you're mad about one tweet 10 years ago. You're a fucking loser. You're a clown. You have no fucking life. You probably don't get any pussy. You don't get any dick. You're a fucking loser. And the thing I said about Rob Schneider, it happens on the left too. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just fucking hating on right wing guys here. It, like, you look at Mark Hamill and Mark Ruffalo, dude, the Marks, dude, and George Takei, and these people that constantly shill 24/7, and it feels like they're a walking advertisement for the left wing party. I have trouble enjoying them because it's like, I'll watch them in a movie. I'll be like, wow, they're really good in that movie. And then my phone will beep and it'll be like, kill all conservatives or some shit. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Or if you voted for Trump, you're actually Hitler. And it's like, dude, come on, bro. Come on, dude. Like, why do you suck so bad as a person? Why can't you just be a dude? Why do you need to fucking be in this weird line? You know, like, you're just fucking trumping for the cause no matter what. It's lame and cringe, bro.
Actions, which brings me to yet another example as I've been thinking about all this cancel culture stuff, which is Bud Light. And I can't believe that I'm touching this because I know that this is still such a hostile issue on right-wing social media, but I think we need to talk about it. We all remember their infamous ad with Dylan Mulvaney. I did so many videos about that. They gave Dylan a beer can with Dylan's face on it. It was a whole thing. We had their female millennial girl boss marketing exec saying that the Bud Light consumer base was fratty and out of touch, which really just meant that Bud Light was out of touch with who their
Dude,
audience.
it's so fucking funny how they literally got, they got like a bunch of fucking people. They basically just started sending checks to creators. Like, people, they were like, dude, we need to get the frattiest people ever. Dude, Shane Gillis. Fucking get Shane Gillis here now, dude. We need fucking Shane Gillis. We need to turn our image back into the frat bros. We need the frat bros back. Bring back Shane Gillis. It was such a hard turn, and you know, to be honest, they're working their ass off to get their fan base back because it was such a bad idea as a company. I don't know why as a company you would choose that. And this same type of stuff bothers me when I see it in the gaming industry. When you see game industry take these hard turns, all of a sudden they're like, oh, this game looks sick, I'm so excited. And then one of the creators is like, yeah, by the way, fuck conservatives and all of them. If you have even slightly right-wing values, I don't want you playing my game. Don't play my game. It's like, fine, dude, I won't. Whatever, dude. Like, and it sucks too, because like you have a game that I really want to play is Avowed, right? Avowed looks really cool. I want to play that game. It's same with South of Midnight, but you have like some of their creators coming out here and just like trashing people of certain views, and it's like, dude, you do realize half of the country, half of your buying base is of this thought process. So by alienating them, all you're doing is hurting your own team. And that's what Bud Light did, is they hurt their own team by trying to play politics in the industry. And now they're trying to fix that. They are trying to fix that. And I do appreciate when a company's like, yeah, we fucked up. And it's like, yeah, I know they're doing it just to make their money back, but it's like now they have an understanding of who buys their shit. You think it's your fucking bougie left-wing fucking people buying Bud Light? Fuck no, dude. It's your fucking frat bros. It's your fucking it's your crabbers, your random jabronis that fucking just want a Bud Light, bro. I want a Bud Light. You know, it's not gonna be your fucking, that Stella Alros and shit is gonna be at your left-wing parties. Come on now.
But Bud Light has spent the last 2 years trying to make things right. They have literally been repenting for 2 years. Like, in my personal opinion, Bud Light has done more to get back on track and actually listen to their consumer base than, say, the companies that Robbie Starbuck has been going after. The companies that get a ominous message on LinkedIn from Robbie saying, we know what you're doing behind the scenes, we're going to expose you. They get freaked out. They put out an apology and a very well-curated PR statement rolling back everything they've been doing over the past.
Does anybody know who Robert Starbuck is? Does anybody know who that is? I'm honestly genuinely curious. Let me know in chat or the comments or whatever. Just let me know who the fuck that guy is. I have no idea who this guy is. It's a lore that I do not know.
Couple of years, getting rid of the BLM initiatives, all of that BS. And while those things are obviously still net positives and they're good for society, those are actions that are being done out of fear and convenience, where Bud Light is literally putting in the work, whether you like it or not. Like, over the past couple of years, the ad agency that was involved in that Dylan Mulvaney beer can, they fired 13 people immediately after. Bud Light put 2 marketing execs who were involved in that on leave and ended up firing them. They gave an apology, albeit very squishy, didn't actually hit the issue head on, but they did make an apology. But more importantly, they drastically changed their marketing tactics. Like, they actually got back to who Bud Light's...
And by the way, I do think it was kind of cringe that that so many people like went after it, but I also think that the person that Dylan Mulvaney has been kind of toxic toward, Dylan Mulvaney is like a toxic fucking person to begin with, and this whole thing was just like a really bad advertiser decision. As a company looking at your buyer base, and let's say this, the person who makes fucking makes MAGA hats, right? The person who makes MAGA hats, their buyer base is going to be highly conservative type people, right? And then they put fucking somebody on front of it. They have Mark Hamill as the spokesperson of MAGA hats and just come out there and just, these are the MAGA hats, and you're like, dude, but it's fucking, that guy hates us. Why would I buy anything when I know these guys hate us? Why would I buy that from you? That makes no sense. Like, it's weird when you cancel something, right? Like, because it's just, like, random tweet and one fucking interaction or something. But, like, if you're a company, and I hold people and companies on different perspectives, right? It's like a company has to sell stuff. That's their whole thing. They are a company, they sell stuff. And if their buyer base is majority this one way, it makes sense that their ads are going to be this way. And honestly, if you run an ad for a MAGA hat that's like, yeah, dude, Trump's the best, fuck liberals or something, that makes sense. The left might get mad about it, but this company sells MAGA hats. They're talking to their audience. And so getting mad at them does nothing. But to go on the complete opposite of what your buyer base would want, that is one of the dumbest decisions financially you could ever make. And that same thing is happening with, like I said, with gaming, dude. It's like you have half of your gaming base thinking this way, and you're like, oh, dude, I'm gonna just say fuck them, and then nobody wants to buy your shit. That's how cancel culture works. It's not about just dragging somebody's name through the mud. It's about not buying the products. Because when you show that you don't want to buy this shit, it says something to the company, and the company will look at it and be like, we're here to make money, dude. Like, you came out here and said, fuck you, and we're here to make money. We're here to, like, actually do shit. And you're ruining our bottom line. We need that. We need to make a change right now. And it lose like you were the one who signed off on this, so you're gone. And I think a lot of people are out there like, oh, we need to support the developers. We don't want these people to lose their jobs or whatever. And it's like, yeah, dude, I get that. But if you're going to be out here and you're going to talk shit, you're going to talk shit about your buyer base, you deserve to lose all the money. And she's talking about more like conservatives and cancel cultures, and like the conservatives still doing cancel culture against certain things. We're talking about Bud Light right now. And it's just kind of like the annoying shit that the right has gotten mad at the left for doing for so long, the right's now doing.
Consumers are and what Bud Light stands for. Like, they made Shane Gillis the face of their company, which was a dream come true for him because he loves Bud Light. They tried to make manly advertisements again. Like, every single one of their ads at this point, I think, has men in flannels drinking beer and watching football. They did an exclusive partnership with Dana White and the UFC, which, oh my God, I'm sure you guys remember this, which royally pissed people off. I mean, conservatives thought that it was such a betrayal on Dana White's part to help Bud Light rebrand their image after this scandal. But Dana White, interestingly, had a completely different take. He was on a podcast talking about this, and he said, we had multiple bidders on the table. They were one of them. History has shown me, with relationships that I've had with other beer companies, I don't go crazy over the whole Patriot thing, but I consider myself a proud American. I'm happy to be an American. I love this country, and you are way more aligned with Anheuser-Busch than you are with other beer companies. I guarantee it. And then he went even further on Bussin' with the Boys, and he said this.
So if I have made the decision...
Well, here's the thing, dude. You have to, like, here's the thing. You should be able to critique your own team. You have to critique. If you don't critique the people you care, like the team, like the side you care about, you're just as bad as the side that you say you're bad or that's bad, right? And that's something that I think we all need to take into account. Like if the right starts doing the same cancel culture bullshit, that's literally being anti that is what's brought them back into the relevancy. That's what has them back in the cultural zeitgeist right now, is the freedom of speech and the anti-cancel culture and getting away from this fucking weird left-wing toxicity that we've had for so long. If we start, not we, I mean, I'm centrist, like slightly right, but if you start doing the same thing that you've critiqued the other side for doing so long, you're no better. You're no better. You should be wanting, like, people to realize how crazy things have gotten, and that's why they're moving away from the left, because the left has gotten so fucking far left. That is a fair, it's like, you should be looking at these people like, oh, well, they're willing to take the steps in, they're willing to work with Dana White, which is going to make the left mad, they're willing to do all these things to change their image to fucking make these changes that are necessary, and that's good. And I think that this is stuff that's not talked about enough. A lot of conservatives would go in and say that this was a win because they're cowtelling, and they are, but at the same time, we shouldn't say We shouldn't say, oh, fuck Bud Light still because of that one thing they did once. It's like, dude, if it's like the same thing with like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's crazy, absolutely. But I remember when I was a kid and the whole thing happened where he had the drunk rant and said all the fucking awful shit, and then he spent like years and years apologizing for it. And now every time he has a movie come out, the movie can literally get nominated and win an Oscar, and they still won't put his fucking name on the movie. It's awful, dude. It's like the dude is fucking talented when it comes to storytelling, but we're not going to put his name on the movie because he said something once that was bad. It was bad. Like, come on, dude. It's cringe. And I don't want the, like, right now, I like the right being the bastion of free speech, the bastion of an anti-cancel culture. That is why I moved a little bit more to the right, is because I'm so sick of, like, censorship. I'm so sick of cancel culture. So I like to see more conservatives calling it out on their own party. I mean, that's what Shoe on Head does for the left. So I think that Brett Cooper, if she continues down this path, yes, this is kind of old news and stuff that she's covering, but if she kind of does I'm going to critique the fucking bullshit going on the right while still holding my right-wing views the way Shoe on Head does, I think that's a win. I think that's a win for the internet.
To go with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. There's a damn good fucking reason. I know the inner workings of the beer business better than any of the other these guys out, these fans and all this shit. And basically, they went after Anheuser-Busch for being woke and doing what they did. 65,000 Americans are employed by Anheuser-Busch, and a lot of them are vets. That alone should be enough reason. Number two, they spend almost $1 billion a year with U.S. farmers. That should be a fucking reason to do it. All the stuff that they do for first responders and vets and $44 million spent over the last however many years for their families. Every time there's a natural disaster in America, they shut down the plant and turn it into a bottled water facility. And they've done something crazy like 100 million bottles that they've sent out to Americans in need. Give me a fucking break.
I mean, by that point,
And this is right. Those are all facts. Absolute fucking facts, dude. And that's something that I think that one PR person shouldn't ruin it for the entire team. 100%. Like, it's like when you see, it was the whole Indiana Jones controversy when that game was being announced, and you had one developer looking mad left-wing cringe, right? Mad left-wing fucking cringe. But then the game came out and it wasn't a fucking woke nightmare. Look at that. Everybody jumped the gun. It's like not everything is always what it seems. And because one person does a bad fuck up job, they take a hit. The company took a hit. They took their hit really fucking hard. And then they started making choices that they knew was going to make them look bad in terms of a portion of the online zeitgeist. And like they weren't winning with Shane Gillis as a spokesperson. That wasn't going to win over the left wing zeitgeist. They weren't going to win with getting fucking Dana White in the UFC on. And they took their fucking L's. But they knew that it was the right thing to do to keep their company going strong and keep their employees fed and happy and their company going. That is what you got to do. That's how you take accountability for your actions. I like to see stuff like this. I like to see redemption arcs. And the fact that it's not talked about as a redemption arc as much is annoying. It's cringe. It's fucking trash.
Dana White was over it. He had been questioned about this so much. He had been criticized, utterly ripped to shreds. So many conservatives that had aligned with him and were partnering with him were breaking off ties. It was literally like the seas had parted. There was a divide over Bud Light because people couldn't decide whether they deserved to be redeemed or whether they should literally be boycotted and canceled into oblivion forever. And I know that there are people who disagree and they want to see these companies who have made wrong turns, who have made bad decisions, they want to see them completely destroyed, canceled, ended, bankruptcy, never to be seen again. But I actually completely disagree. Like, I want to see companies change and be better and come back stronger and actually listen to their consumers. Like, I think about companies like Disney. Disney is an incredibly important company and has been for generations. It has changed thousands and thousands of lives. It has changed the direction of so many different industries. It would be a shame to see it be completely destroyed. But I do think it should be better. I think that they should actually...
Absolutely, absolutely. Here's the thing, dude. Before Disney became the woke taint wagon cumsicle, it was actually, like, Disney used to put out actual shit. I used to get excited, like, not, like, way excited, but, like, I would get excited when I see things getting released by Disney. In the better era of the MCU, when Pixar was doing, like, fire shit. I went to theaters for Incredibles 2, and I was an adult, dude. I'd met my wife. We were dating at the time. We went to Incredibles 2. We were fucking excited to see that shit. And then slowly we watched this fucking mind virus of AIDS and buttholes just cloud their vision with a bunch of shit. And now we have like the weird Disney we have now where it's like, well, we don't want to upset people online because they're paying way too much attention to people online. A lot of people are getting hired from California that are radical, have radical views, and they're pushing out a huge portion of their audience, and I think the best way to do is to combat that. And yeah, it's going to be a slow process. Yeah, you're going to have some trouble with doing it at first, but I think Bud Light showed that you can change as a company, and I think that more companies need to say, hey, dude, it's not working for us. We're making a change. Changes need to happen. We need to, and even if they don't go fucking right or whatever you want them to go, getting them back to the middle of just doing what a fucking company does is what they need to do, dude. That's all they need to do. That's all. I mean, it's fucking paint by numbers bullshit. I mean, I think it's not that complicated. You should want to sell to both sides of the political spectrum, but right now you have one side's the evil villain and the other side's the good guys for some reason, which is the wrong way to look at your fellow Americans and your potential buyers.
Listen to their audience and listen to their consumers who pay their bills. That is what needs to change. Like, I don't want to lose integral and historical and important parts of American society simply because I'm bitter and I've been burned. And the way to avoid this is to be self-aware, but it's also to be smarter. And in my opinion, the best way to become smarter is through Peterson Academy. And Peterson Academy is Jordan Peterson's online university that is open for enrollment right now.
Oh, dude, this is a question I got. A while back, right? In regards to the Daily Wire, who do you think will leave? Who do you think will stay? I can see the one person I could ever see just leaving the Daily Wire would be Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson is a newer entry, and I feel like a lot of the newer entries have left because of the toxicity over at I should go live and react to it. Do it, dude. Go live and react to my live. I would absolutely love that. I would be more than happy to have you reacting to my live. Do it, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. The more people react to my shit, the better. But no, I think, because like I feel like the toxicity that has grown from the corporate structure of the Daily Wire has been disingenuous to the movement they're trying to do. And I think Steven Crowder calling it out back in the day was the right thing to do. And I think a lot of the people that worked at the Daily Wire didn't realize how bad they were getting fucked over until that moment. And you saw a big rollout of a bunch of people at the Daily Wire villainizing Steven Crowder, and to this day they still kind of villainize him. And yeah, Steven Crowder has been really fucking mad cringe or whatever, but you see that them kind of utilizing their influence to push other people down, and I don't think that's okay. I think they're fully okay with destroying anybody that is slightly opposed to them, and if they could, I think they would try to destroy Brett Cooper. Even if they can't, though, their hands are tied because she is literally tied to one of their TV shows. I think that's why they didn't go as hard on Brett Cooper. They still were fucking cringe about her, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just how it is.
Now. And if you are someone who loves lifelong learning and wants to learn from the brightest professors in the world, if you are someone who has ever benefited from Dr. Peterson's lectures like I have, or his incredible guests that come on his show.
But it is wild to see that Jordan Peterson sponsored her, because that means Jordan Peterson actually saw what would happen to her and like agreed with her. Like, I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just speculating. The chat, no, he was like 138k subs. Dude, Jake should be here, dude. Jake should stream my shit, dude. Bring more eyes to my channel. I would love it. Dude, even if you disagree with me, I want you to tear me apart. I want you to call me a pussy-ass bitch. I want you to tell me that I have a prolapsed anus and I shouldn't be talking. Do it, dude. I'm happy. I'm happy to be the laughingstock. But I do think this shows that Jordan Peterson kind of understood that what was happening to her was bullshit. It was willing to support all of her endeavors. And dude, Jake, I'm not saying this, I guess I want to like fight you or some shit. I want anybody, this is something I will say to anybody who watches my channel, anybody who's catching this video after I re-upload it or catching the stream right now, take any of my content, even my game playthroughs, cut the game, use it for your own background, do whatever you want with my content. At the end of the day, anytime somebody uses my content, puts it up on a short, does whatever, I make a weird taint joke, how I like cut them off of people and use them as wallpaper. Anytime I see some of that shit out there, that is advertisement for my channel, and I am more than happy to be the laughing stock in order to get more eyes on me.
then this platform is for you. And every month, Peterson Academy releases 4 new 8-hour university-level courses taught by alone just to further your education. So again, make sure to check out petersonacademy.com/Brett today. Again, that's petersonacademy.com/Brett to join Peterson Academy today. And I know that this is a very hot take in conservative circles right now, but in light of all of this, this is why I am choosing to give Mark Zuckerberg and Meta a chance. I want to see them be better. I want to see them succeed.
Agreed. A fucking agreed.
And I feel like we've literally been watching Mark Zuckerberg transform. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, again, like Whitney Cummings, he's grifting, he's opportunistic, he's just changing right now. Are you kidding me?
Jake, I'm down. If you ever want to do a live together, we can do that. We can debate or whatever. I am down for that. I don't do politics all the time. It's just a very few things. This Brett Cooper thing has been interesting to me. I've been really intrigued by it. I like that she's going in the direction of the shoe on head. But yeah, if you ever want to like collab, dude, my Discord's in my bio. You can go to my Discord and we can talk about it. What I was gonna say about the Mark Zuckerberg thing is a lot of people thought that he's just fucking like he's being a fucking skinwalker, and now he's going to the other side because it's culturally relevant, which is true. 100% facts. He is doing this because it's the mind geist currently. Everything seems to be going in that direction, being anti-censorship. The majority of people out there are actually anti-censorship. Whether you're left or right, the majority of people believe that. They hate censorship. Like, the whole hate speech thing is kind of fucking stupid. And have you noticed content creators stopped talking about it as much? They stopped talking about how toxic Twitter is and whatever. It's still like toxic, but they stopped complaining about it because they realized it was a losing argument. That more people were using it, and they didn't want to go to places like Bluesky where they could get banned and fucking not as banned, but like everybody just blocks you instantly. And Bluesky's just this fucking toxic left-wing circle space. Bro got a lock in as a moderator now. No, you are my main moderator, Light Chomps. But here's the thing, dude. You get these, like, they see that this is more culturally acceptable to go. And you know what the best part about it is? They don't have to hire the people. They don't have to put as many people on bullshit like, oh, dude said some fucking edgy thing or posted an edgy thing. They don't have to worry about that anymore. And they can focus on the real stuff. They can focus on the child crimes. They can focus on the actual crimes on their platforms going down instead of all this weird culture war bullshit. Instead of worrying about the FBI getting mad about something and saying you need to have them take that down. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. They don't have to worry about that shit anymore. And it's nice that they can like take those people that were kind of fluff, either fire them or move them to a new location where they're actually doing some real good for the platform by removing crimes. I think as a company, this is the easy way to go, and I'm sure that they've been sick of the censorship going on in other countries because England and Canada have been crazy. I'm sure that this is honestly really, really a better direction for them to go as a company, and I'm sure they've been just waiting for something like a cultural movement to move and change the general consensus. And now that they have it, they're going to run with it. So I think a part of them believes it, and I think a part of them is moving with the tides. If I had to fucking put taints to asses and figure this shit out and stop rambling.
I mean, like, I have been watching Mark Zuckerberg beef himself up. He started doing martial arts and jujitsu. Like, when he started doing jujitsu, I was like, it's over for the libs. And guess what? It kind of was. Didn't he open a, like, cattle ranch in Hawaii? He started talking about the importance of eating grass-fed beef. Like, somewhere along the line in the last few years, something clicked for him in his life, and he began to change. I also personally think that his response to the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, I thought that that was very, very genuine. I didn't think that that was calculated or opportunistic at all. I think that he, like so many other Americans who had turned away from Trump, who didn't really like him, I think that they saw him in a completely different light. I mean, you watched a man who has literally faced lawfare, has faced slander and shame, has been kicked out of his circles, has lost basically his entire community, and now he is being physically attacked, he is being shot at. And you see him stand up and say, fight, 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 because he believes in this country. He doesn't have to do any of this. He could be at Mar-a-Lago golfing. It's what we always say. He doesn't have to be president. He doesn't need to be running again. He could be living a peaceful life. But he's choosing to show up against all odds because he believes in this country and he believes that it can be great. And I think, again, like a lot of Americans, that clicked for Mark Zuckerberg. And if you don't know the clip that I'm talking about, just listen to what he said immediately after the assassination attempt.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
Like, I think in that moment,
Well, and here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. On top of that, no one likes being put in a box. Nobody likes being cornered. And for a long time, and this is at least post 2016, we have had where the internet has cornered anybody that they might think is of a certain thought, and they're willing to burn down somebody's entire livelihood over the sniff that they had, even the slight thought of not being 100% with their views. And that's fucked. And I don't like, if the right starts doing that, I'm gonna call it out there too. I do not like when you decide to be this vicious. And if I was Mark Zuckerberg and I saw an opportunity to shift the company's direction away from this toxic place that it's sitting in, after seeing that Twitter already opened the doors for that, I'd be down for it. Now, do I agree with like Elon Musk and some of his fucking censorship because he's a little petty bitch? No. But again, that's where I'm going to call him out on that shit. And like his little spats with Asmongold where he's being a little pussy about it, I'm going to call him out for that shit. But I'm not going to sit here and then like, oh, well, I have to agree with everything they say always. Because all that's going to do is create this mob mentality, which has been so dangerous for the left. That is what has caused them to lose this election, is mob mentality and this chaos that we have. It's pretty fucking plain, and we're not doing like engineering over here. We're putting fucking dicks in buttholes, and shit's just adding up, right? It's not complicated to me, but for some reason, people were acting like the Mark Zuckerberg thing was just like this great, wow, he had this big realization. I think it's been building for a while, and he just was like, finally, somebody opened the door first. I didn't have to be the guy. I can follow suit. If I was in his position, I would have done the same thing. It's like, oh, do I take the hit and I be the bad guy and I'm the bad platform and I have to do all this thing after I built this whole company up? Or I see Twitter do it, I wait and see Twitter do it, or I wait for the political tides to change and then I do it, and finally I have this freedom, and then I can just sit there and I can say our policy hasn't changed in a very long time. We made this decision, even if it changes back the other way, that you can kind of sit back and now you have a more firm stance to be sat in. Like, I don't know. I think this was a smart play by him, and I was fully happy to see it. And I hated the people that were calling him a grifter because of it, because it's like, dude, we should just be just take the W. Just take the fucking W.
he developed a man crush. He was like, this is what a real man is. He's tough. He's strong. This is
gay. What she's saying right here is gay. This is lame. I don't think it's because Trump is the biggest thing ever. I think it's because of what I said, not because of what she's saying right here. She's much prettier than I am, so you might believe her over me, but what are you gonna do, dude? I'm fat and have scraggly facial hair.
What I want to be. I genuinely think that it was inspiring, and the gears started turning at a much faster rate. I really think that was the push he needed to draw his line in the sand and start to unravel everything that he and Meta had been doing for so many years, had been complicit in, which is why, in my opinion, he sent that now famous letter to Jim Jordan, where he basically admitted to all the censorship and said the White House was encouraging and forcing their hands. He said that in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was—
What, you don't let the homies hit? No, dude. I'm married, bro. I don't let anybody hit other than my wife. I let her peg the shit out of my asshole. I'm just kidding. No, dude, we don't do any butt stuff. Butt stuff scares both of us. I make a lot of butt jokes, but it scares the fuck out of me, dude. That is the scary, dude. My wife the other day said that shit sucks back, and I was like, get that fucking away from me, dude. Why do you have a pit from Star Wars behind us, dude? I want my butthole removed. I just want to drop shit out of my ass. If my butthole sucks things up in there, nope, I'm against it, bro. Big against. I think we should ban all buttholes. If you want to stream with Jake, oh no, dude, dude, he's busy right now, dude. He was in my chat, bro. I already promised you were gonna be on, dude. Just get on my chat, Rev. I'm calling Rev right now. I'm supposed to have Rev on tonight. Rev was supposed to be streaming with me. Rev is another YouTuber. He's great. He's being a little bitch boy about it. Dude, I don't know. Oh, he's not at his PC. Dude, he was like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, right now, buddy, right now, I have plans tonight to have Rev on.
was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions. This is really important. We're going to talk about that later. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this happens again. And a lot of people read this letter and they said, oh.
Well, and here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing that people don't understand about a lot of this is I feel like if I was running a giant company and we had the amount of pressure that there was a lot of pressure during the whole pandemic. There was a lot of pressure by the White House. There was a lot of pressure when it came to the Hunter Biden thing. There was a lot of this government pressure coming down. And if I was a company, I'd be scared to be sanctioned because they were sanctioning fucking all. They would sanction your grandmother if she was sneezed the wrong direction. It was very draconian for a little bit there. Now, how deep it goes, I don't know. How draconian it was, I have no idea. The moment Biden he pardoned everybody. He fucking pardoned like everybody who might have been prosecuted because of their malpractice or whatever. And the dude just fucking like went out there. The dude just went out there and was like straight up pardoned everybody, which puts guilt in my eyes. If you're putting blanket pardons for like years and years, that's gonna put guilt in my eyes that they did some fucky shit. And if I was a company running my business at that time period, bro, I would be looking at all these other court hearings, being like, I don't want any fucking part of that. I'm a little scared. We've never seen something like this. I'm gonna just ban the shit from my platform and then keep going with my life. And when Twitter was taken over by Elon Musk, we saw all the FBI shit leak. And then Musk is reconfirming it. So really, it was Musk buying that platform and releasing all this shit that opened a lot of the floodgates. We got Rev on stream here. We got fucking Rev Plays Games, my boy. My sweet southern boy. How you doing? Well, he was here. He was here for a second. He's not talking right now. We will wait until he shows up. I don't know.
My freaking OBS wasn't open.
Oh, dude, your OBS was being gay, dude. Are you streaming this right now?
Yeah, no, but I have my OBS is monitoring a virtual audio cable. It helps with my mic sound. And so OBS has to be open for anything to go through.
I don't mess with any of my audio settings, and that's probably why my mic sounds twice as shitty as yours, even though we have the same mic.
I mean, it sounds good to me on Discord.
Does it? Okay. Well, then I'm crispy and clean. I'm going to hit play, Rev. You're here. All right. You're queer. Actually, you're not, but let's go.
He thinks that Trump's going to get in office and that he is going to get reprimanded, that he's going to be thrown in.
Your wife's like, excuse me. Well, actually, I peg him, and I'm a woman.
I left it on upstairs.
Did you? Dude, Miss Rev knows how much she pegs you. She knows. She's like, do I use the Lovecraft penis or do I use the regular penis? Dude,
why not both?
Oh yeah, dude, tie them together, duct tape them. More stretch for the passion.
In jail, he's trying to cover his track, but that last line spoke volumes. We're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Any administration, either direction. I actually think that he was saying, Kamala, if you get elected, we're not doing this again. Because I know better now. I have more strength. I have more courage. I've seen somebody literally get shot at in the face and continue to stand up against absurdity and tyranny. And I now have the balls to stand up to you. So I think it works in both directions. And then, guys, to top all of this off, he made a video a couple months later, which I'm sure you've seen, announcing a complete overhaul of how Meta and how Facebook monitors content with a focus on free speech, which is, what it should have been the entire time. But now they're going back to their roots, is what he said. Just watch.
The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws, institutional...
I'm skipping all this. I'm skipping all of this. I want to just say that, like, the position he's coming from, but like Mark Zuckerberg. Do you know anything about this, Rev? The Mark Zuckerberg thing?
I saw some of it, but I have a very minimal amount of knowledge when it comes to a lot of the stuff going on.
Well, basically, Mark Zuckerberg just came out there and said we were going to go back to our free speech rule, our roots, or whatever. And I think that's good for. I hate this idea that one potential thought process should be the prevailing one online. I think it's really bad. I think it's led to a lot of the bad cancel culture and shit we have. I think it's led to a lot of the toxicity of the left wing party. Now, I know that we're talking about how the right is toxic too, and I 100% agree with that. I vehemently agree with the right being just as toxic, given the opportunity. But it's just like online, you see more of the left-wing toxicity because it's the prevailing. It's the good slip. We all covered Mark's announcement like a month ago. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's the having it covered. I mean, I didn't cover it, but just having it in this video as like a point showing that like I saw a lot of conservative people, and I saw a lot of like people who react to shit like this kind of acting like this was a bitch move by Mark Zuckerberg. And I think this honestly took guts up on his part. Could you imagine running a multi-billion-dollar company when we're in a very trying time right now? There's going to be companies that are going to stick with their guns and companies that don't. And it right now you're placing your bet on what the position should be. And I think that a lot of them see that the Section 230 and the Section 230 shit is coming. I mean, they're at any chance they could lose that. They have protections from the government because they are not a publisher, but they've been acting like a publisher for a long time. And if they lose that, they lose their ability to run the website. So it's either you look at what you've built and you say, this has gotten obscene. We've been dealing with a lot of fucking bullshit from political pressure, and we make the choice to change it now and stand with this stand with this current administration that seems like it's going to be protecting us if we do the right steps, or we make a bet against it and we lose everything. So either way, you could lose everything. But I think
it really sounds like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah, but I think that right now going with the free speech direction, it at least has the Constitution to back you up. So even go ahead.
I was going to say, I would say that would be the main focus, right? Is it in line with the Constitution?
Yeah.
You know, does it edify the constitutional rights that we have?
And that to me is the most important thing. And then hold on. Daily Wire's reach dropped 80% overnight when they released Lady Ballers. Yeah, I have no idea. I heard it was terrible. I honestly, here's the thing. I'm gonna go on I'm gonna go on like a different tangent. Why you shouldn't watch anything from the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro made a Batman review, right?
That's it.
That's it, dude. That's all you need, dude. The Batman review, honestly, should make you never watch anything from the Daily Wire again. Because if Ben Shapiro woke up and said, I'm Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna make him a review on the Batman, and then he probably talked to one of his buddies at the Daily Wire, and they're like, that's a good idea, dude. Not enough people have talked about how woke the Batman is. And then he went out and made the fucking most dog shit review ever. And no one should watch the fucking Daily Wire movies, because if that's their thought process about fucking set design and atmosphere, they don't know how to make a fucking film. I don't care how anti-woke the movie is if the movie's dog shit.
I said it last stream when we watched it together. You know, I was in the chat. I said it in chat. I would rather lick the bottom of a McDonald's toilet seat than watch that again.
Yeah, dude, that was the worst review I have ever seen. He didn't even see the movie, and he did a review on it. So he didn't even watch the...
That made it so much worse.
Oh my god, dude. Jake Day's hitting me with some fucking... Dude, it was garbage. It was so bad. It was fucking... I would rather melt my eyeballs out with, like... Well, I can't even use Lizzo as, like, a hitting point anymore, bro. Did you see she lost, like, a fuckload of weight?
Yeah.
Like a lot of weight. Like, there's people still calling her fat and shit, but, like, bro, she went from fucking fat to chubby, you know? Good on her, bro. Good on her. I mean, I need to get on that.
It takes a lot of discipline. Yeah, me too. Tell me about it.
Dude, I think about losing weight, and I go get another plate of spaghetti. I'm like, how much of this can I shove in my mouth and in my ass at the same time? It's a game.
You're on that. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, I'm on that. I'll do it tomorrow. I look at my baby, and I'm like, I'm going to play with you. And then I'm going to eat food while I do it. It's a toxic mind space. But yeah, dude, fucking that made me never want to watch. Because I wanted to watch the movie he did with Thomas Jane about the school shooting. I don't know if you ever saw the trailer for that.
I haven't seen that.
So when it was one of the first movies they dropped, right? And the movie is just basically Thomas Jane's like a hunter and shit, and he teaches his daughter about all this shit. And then there's an active at the school, and his daughter basically gets out and goes and gets her gun. And I was like, that looks kind of cool. I like that idea. Cool B movie. I would watch that shit on TV when there's nothing else on because I see Thomas Jane on it. And I'm like, it's probably gonna be bad because it's got Thomas Jane in it, but I like him. He was cool in the Shark movie and as the Punisher. I'm gonna fucking watch this shit. But like after seeing that review, bro, I think the movie's probably gonna be trash. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Fuck Ben Shapiro and his fucking Batman review. But the whole Facebook thing, I think is still relevant to talk about, even though she's using it here. And in the context, the way she's using it here, as how a lot of conservatives are being very toxic toward fucking Facebook, Zucky fucky. To be honest, he's probably been sick of it for a long time, felt boxed in, and this was his out. Like, this was his chance to get away from it. You felt like if I was boxed in for a while and then saw somebody open a door for me and take all the heat, because Musk took all the heat. Musk is still taking all the heat. He's a clown, but he's taking the heat and so when Zuckerberg comes in, he gets a little bit of the heat, which and then he got some heat from conservatives or whatever. He got a little bit from both sides, but at the end of the day, he's still fucking taking the W here. This is working out way better for him because he's not the focus. After this happened, a lot of people lost focus on him. People are still complaining about Musk taking over Twitter, but Zucky fucky is just chilling. That's how you do it. This was a great business move. It turned from a damned if you do to damned if you don't to somebody already else got damned. I'm just fucking saying fuck England. That's basically what he said. He's like, fuck England. They're
the meme of Homer backing into the bushes.
Yeah. Everybody else is backing in. It was literally Homer. It would have been like if Homer stepped out and didn't back in, and somebody else was like, finally, it's my turn to come out. Thank God, I've been in there so long. You smell like ass and jizz, bro. Do you ever shower? That's Mark Zuckerberg right now. And honestly, I don't blame him. No, they should. The Daily Wire has done fucked up shit. Like, this is she shouldn't here's the thing about Brett, again, the cancellation of the Daily Wire, right? If the people are canceling the Daily Wire, which sucks, like, they like, not all of them deserve that, but if they hit her with some, like, Steven Crowder wrongdoing type bullshit, it deserves to be out there. We shouldn't protect people just blatantly just because they have a similar thought process to you. The Daily Wire has been out here doing some fucking questionable shit and doing some old style media tactics and willing to bend the knee in almost every regard to what these platforms want them to do. And then all of a sudden they get some backlash and they shift the blame onto whoever's giving the backlash. Brett didn't spur it up any bigger. Brett didn't try to protect them. She just stayed quiet and released her own platform, which was the best action to take. She could have gone out, leaked shit, given stuff to other people to leak. She could have done a lot more, but she didn't. She's just out here building her own shit, doing her own thing. And honestly, this is the best thing she could have done. Because I feel like the Daily Wire screwed her over. There's something there, or otherwise the God King would not have came out and made that video. If there wasn't something there they needed to hide. I don't know.
I'm excited to take it.
No,
He's saying this is a global trend.
I was thinking myself, if they've been doing these things, and they're very suspicious, almost like, like backroom cigar smoke, like secret meeting, doing her dirty, right? To me, then it would be the consequences of their actions, and it would be like, there's I'm a boat captain, and I see this rock, but I'm going to do everything I can to steer into that rock. Don't get mad, don't get mad at me.
Exactly.
Other people can't get mad at me, right? Get mad at the captain. He's the one that steered it into the rock.
Exactly. It's one of those things that he's literally the captain on the ship, like you're saying, yelling at the crew for fucking everything up while not letting go of the reins. And that's how I felt about the whole Daily Wire situation with Brett Cooper. It's just
don't blame the rock. Blame the captain.
Yeah, and then he gets like right before the rock hits, he gets mad at the one person that jumps out because they don't want to die. It's just it was one of those things that this is just comes off bad, and I've already seen them use these manipulation tactics with Steven Crowder by not addressing any of his actual arguments in the contract and just addressing the money. It was all about the money and trying to paint him as a greedy motherfucker, and that is, I mean, if you're gonna be the platform that touts about free speech, but then have a big fallout with Candace Owens over her views on Israel, I'm gonna have like that's vehement. I don't like Candace Owens. I make it very blatant that I'm not a big Candace Owens fan. I've always found her really self-indulgent and kind of an asshole. But at the end of the day, like to get in these huge disputes with her over her views is like, dude, you're supposed to be a free speech group. You're supposed to be here. That you've been touting forever about this shit, and now you're against it. That's where you deserve criticism. That's what happens. And it's not that she never actively tried to get the Daily Wire canceled. She just cut ties. There's a very big difference. There's a difference between cutting ties and then going out and shit talking him every second.
You are all complicit in.
Yeah.
We're not doing
for
this
sure.
again. And now that we have Trump coming into office, it's going to be a lot easier for us to fight back against all of this. And within minutes of this video dropping on social media, it was announced that they were, rolling back fact checkers. My favorite part of that video was actually when he said that he was moving the content moderation team from an office in San Francisco to Texas, was hiring all new people, which was just such a F the libs moment. Like, okay, now we're taking this away from you, San Francisco tech bros. We're taking it to Texas where people are a lot more reasonable. That was just fantastic. He literally got rid of the DEI teams at Meta, removed tampons from the men's bathrooms, which was just insane that they were there in the first place. He put Dana White on the Meta board of directors, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing that he did. Because with
Well, that's a great point. That's a great point. In chat, they're talking about Blair White cooked Candace on Dave Rubin's podcast back in the day. Candace Owens used to be like really left wing, like really left wing.
Yeah.
And then she came, like when she showed back up in the public zeitgeist after being cooked by everybody, she showed back up as super right wing, and they just kind of accepted her. Which is fine, dude. I think if somebody can have a change of heart, I do believe people can have a change of heart, have a change of opinions. I mean, what I thought yesterday could be completely adamantly different from what I think today. But to have somebody just like Candace Owens, who's always been toxic, who's always been willing to just burn people down around her, and then to pretend that she hasn't always been that way, that is one consistency she's always shown. But whether she was talking for the left wing or talking for the white, she's always been the right. I said white. Talking for the right. She's always been kind of a toxic person, a toxic personality. And there was times where I agreed with her on some of her sentiments, and sometimes I didn't. But I just always felt this viciousness from her.
Yeah, almost like standoffish in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. I don't know if you ever watched. You thought the same thing with Candace Owens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, condescending for sure.
Yeah, dude, she's condescending, she's rude. She was that way with the left back when the left first started doing that, like in the I think this was probably the 2010s. And then she just migrated over to the right and did the same thing, but with different talking points. And she utilized her race the same way she did when she was left wing, but now for the right to do, like, she was getting off the plantation. I think that's the name of her book, which is just fucking. She's what is it called? Race scripting or race? I don't know. Utilizing her race for her viewpoints. That was her. She does that a lot. And to me, it's like she's just still using identity politics, just in a different format now, and that bothers me.
He said, "I'm taking this action, yes, but I'm putting somebody incredibly powerful, incredibly well-connected on this board to not only hold me accountable, but also hold the entire company accountable." And of course, and I know people are already going to be commenting about this, and I'm sure you guys are concerned, but with Mark Zuckerberg's track record, obviously we should be skeptical. Obviously, we should not jump in heart first, trusting this man implicitly, but you also shouldn't dismiss the work that he is doing that will make our lives better, that will hopefully change the course of the media landscape, much like Elon Musk and X has done. We should, in my opinion, hope for the best and hope that he is being genuine and be excited about the changes that he's making. And this man is also in an incredibly difficult situation right now. Like, everyone hates him. If you go online and you watch any videos about Mark Zuckerberg right now, you have libs screaming, losing their mind, saying we're not going to be on Meta anymore. We're getting rid of Instagram, getting rid of Facebook, literally ripping him to shreds. One of my favorite things to do over the last month has been to watch all of my lib friends on Facebook meltdown over this. So they're pissed off at him. Meanwhile, you have conservatives who think that he should be in jail, that nothing he does will ever rectify the situation that he created, that he does not deserve a second chance, that we should also leave Meta, leave Facebook. Like, he can please nobody at this moment. He is between a rock and a hard place. Like, there is no real winning for him here because
she has excellent oratory skills. I'm fucking retarded when it comes to pronunciation sometimes, so I probably fuck that up. That's Candace's secret weapon. I have to drink a couple beers before I'm relaxed enough to speak as fluidly as she does. And well, here's the thing too. You can, even with me talking on this or on my stream right now, I'm gonna be a lot choppier and a lot more fucked up. But like in my videos, I'm kind of fucked up too. But if I wanted to, I could lay out precise things that I wanted to say, go through that, and then cut all the fluff. It's not hard to cut all the fluff. And they had entire teams at the Daily Wire able to do that. So that's why she has almost everybody at the Daily Wire. Have you noticed they're incredibly clean? All their videos are incredibly clean. It all sounds really good. And it's rare that you'll have somebody. I think the only time I've seen like a conservative get up and like cut the rug, like actually cut up a place and not feel like everything was rehearsed. There's only been one guy to do that, and that was Steven Crowder. And that's what made me like him back in the day. He was at a panel, right? And somebody was like heckling, and Steven Crowder just gets up and starts fucking roasting the audience. Doing like
that video that one went viral.
Yeah, dude. That was one of the best moments I'd ever seen from a conservative. And that was at like a time where I was like kind of not sure. I was like trying to research stuff, trying to figure out where I stood, and I remember seeing that and I'm like, that's cool. And then I watched his Change My Mind, and I'm like, this is how you do it. This isn't debate bro-y. And you see stuff that comes from like PragerU or like the Daily Wire, and it feels very vicious. In a way, it's very calculated. Everything's very calculated. Everything they say is got a punch to it and a point. And Steven Crowder has kind of gone that way, and that's why I moved away from him. But like old Steven Crowder was kind of just like sit back, wait for the moment, make my jokes, make my points, have my fun. And it felt off the cuff. It was unrehearsed. And it's just like one of these things that people don't, when you see somebody's cut up footage like this, and you see something that's gone through like this, they're like, wow, they're such a good speaker. They have this ability. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. But when it actually comes down to brass tacks, if you had a team of people editing your shit, you could get this done no problem. Everybody can look clean if you have people to do it.
Yeah. But and see, now you know the reason why I'm terrified of doing lives is because I run out of stuff to say very quickly. Outside of being, in here with, you and talking, I have to have somebody else to spur the conversation. I don't talk very well, to myself on my own. But yeah. I'm also reading Jake's comment. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Being alive is way more difficult than people think. You're doing a great job, by the way. Thank you. Well, you see, what I do is I retain a healthy amount of semen inside of my body, right? A healthy amount of semen. And when I start talking, it sprays into the atmosphere. That's why I have so many illicit kids. Every time I get a knock on my door, I'm like, fuck, it's another one. And I go hide in the dishwasher, right? But it's just like, it kind of flies out. It flies out. It's like a nice mist that's happening 24/7. And if I don't replenish that from my own supply, like I have a Christian closet full of all my, or not Christian, what was it? Butters, bro. Butters, dude. You remember, you would see that episode of South Park where he's like, I wake up sometimes and it's wet, so I bottle it.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's what my closet looks like. And I just take a little sip to save it so I don't run out of it or whatever, just like Christian. And then I go on and stream, and it honestly helps me. I'm pretty sure this is what Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain is. It's just bottled semen.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah, dude, you've been fucking just holding it in. You're like, I'm a reverend, I can't jerk off. It's bad for me. God is watching. And then you don't, and you just wait, and then you're like, Miss Rev, please, it's time. I got balls like the monster from the crab from Half-Life. Please help me.
Or in the South Park episode where
Randy
hopping along the sidewalk. Yeah.
Dude, you got the wheelbarrow balls, and that's when Miss Rev likes them the best, because then that's her boobs to fondle. and you're finally, she's like, yes, now it's time, Rev, it's time. And she shoots off you like a fucking fire extinguisher that somebody let go of.
She just texted me. Give me a second.
Your wife's like, what the fuck did I just watch, bro? Oh my god, dude, that was so foul, dude. While you're reading that text, I'm gonna hit play.
Everybody's going to hate him regardless, and nobody is going to like him or trust him. So he is having to do what he believes is a moral right. He is having to make the harder decision, even though it might not be the easier decision. And I will always respect somebody for attempting to do that. And I know that a lot of people believe that he should face repercussions for what he did over the last 10 years. Other people want him to apologize, which in my opinion, he did in that letter to Jim Jordan. And who knows if he will face repercussions. I don't know what Trump is going to do. It seems like they're kind of buddy-buddy, considering he was sitting right behind him at the inauguration. And other people are saying, you know, this is one of the most wealthy individuals in America who runs an incredibly powerful company. You should have just pushed back against Biden and the Biden administration. And while that is obviously, yes, true, to me, the fact that this incredibly wealthy and powerful man was afraid of our U.S. government speaks more to their overreach and their corruption and their power than it does to his character. Because if they were willing to attack him and threaten him, imagine what they would have done to all of us. I mean, we saw what they did to people over the last 5 years. So it's understandable that he was apprehensive about not pushing back even more. And so that is why I genuinely am hoping for the best. I want him to be genuine. I want him to succeed.
What happened? What happened? You need to catch me up on how your wife feels right now.
She said she's feeling a lot better. I went and got her some Chinese food. She's been craving it, so I went and got it.
Good
and then I do my best. But she said, you know, Jiffy said that he had a lot of semen in his body, and you know what I immediately said afterwards? And I went, yeah, what? She goes, me too.
Good job, Rev. You're doing it. You're a good husband, bro. You're a husband. When my wife says she wants Chinese food, I'm like, shut up, bitch, I'll punch you. No, I don't say that, dude. I actually love my wife. But if I wore wife beaters, bro, and I smoked meth, probably. I assume that's what they do. I don't really know that realm of the world, but I'm sure, dude. I'm sure that they're like, gonna beat up my wife. Nah, dude. If my wife wanted Chinese food, I'd be like, all right, let me get you some Chinese food. And then she probably wouldn't say the semen thing because she always says that stuff's gross. She's like, you say gross stuff, and I'm like, that's why you married me. Yeah, I'm the gross one.
It's like a perfect pair, you know?
Yeah, dude. She's like, just like her perfect pair of tits. Bazinga. That one was bad enough that I want to cry. I want to cry myself to sleep over that terrible joke. Oh my god, we're gonna finish this, Rev.
I'll forgive you this time.
We got 3 minutes left. I think we can make it. Well, let's see what Brett Cooper has to say, and I will watch her pretty mouth move. Dude, I'm gonna get in trouble for objectifying for no reason. This is great. I love it.
Because that will be better for all of us. And in my opinion, believing in somebody's ability to change is instrumental to the health, number one, to the health of all of us in our personal lives, but it's also instrumental to the health of the right and our movement. Because if we lose that, we become no better than the left. The left that we have all been canceled and ridiculed by. The left that we have called out for policing speech and being relentlessly tribal in the way that they eat their own and do not allow anybody to have any kind of dissenting opinion or make any kind of misstep whatsoever. The left that says you can't talk about X and you can't do Y. Is that really who we want to become? I go on social media, I go on X, and that's what I'm seeing. It's just a bunch of infighting. It's a bunch of people freaking out because people aren't perfect. Oh my God. Wow. And of course, there's a difference between that kind of toxicity and those cancellations, and simply being cautious and holding people accountable and hoping for the best. But with what I'm seeing online, with what people are saying and commenting, those lines are becoming increasingly blurry. We just elected Donald Trump to his second term, which is fantastic. I think most people are very, very excited and pumped about it. I think that the world feels a lot better since January 20th. But Donald Trump is a former Democrat. And a lot of people on the right have serious problems with him, whether that is because of his track record on COVID, the vaccines, the fact that he spent a lot of money, more than he should have in his first term, whether it was because he appointed rhinos, whether it was because of Jan 6. But people have gotten over a lot of that. They've pushed past that and they've said, yes, he might have made mistakes, but he's trying to be better. He is going to get this country back on track. And I'm choosing to believe in him. I mean, think about Tulsi, think about RFK Jr. These two former Democrats who still to this day do not share a lot of the traditional conservative values.
And this is something, okay, so I'm pausing it again. This is actually something that I liked about Trump's cabinet this go round. It seems like he chose a lot of people that would support him, and he was willing to support some of their ideas as well. Because Tulsi Gabbard isn't all of a sudden like a super right-wing person, and same with RFK. He still has his very vehement beliefs that are left-wing. It's just now he got sick of being he got sick of the toxicity and moved a little bit over. And I see a lot of people where they're like, oh, well, we have to support them all the time. And it's like, you know, this is the best part about, like, having different people come to the table. And I'm not, like, the biggest Trump guy. I like Trump. Okay, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and, like, I voted for him this time because I honestly was just sick of when he made this. I wasn't sure about it until he made he talked about, like, social media and, like, cancel or, like, censorship. And I was like, that's what I care about. And I remember, this is funny. This is a funny story. So my wife, is more left-wing than I am. She is more left-wing than, she's like center. Well, now she'd be considered right because the left-wing is so fucking far over there. But I remember she was going to vote at the Democratic National Committee or whatever, right? The whatever it's called. She was going to vote, and she posted something on Facebook about, take this little test. It was one of those gay little Facebook tests, like, take this little test and see who your closest views are with, right? And I did it, and the one I was closest with was Tulsi Gabbard, and I was like, yeah, but I don't really agree with her views on gun stuff, because she was kind of like, she wasn't fully anti-gun, but she wanted more regulations. But I was like, okay, that was fun enough. I'm still probably not going to vote for him. And then I remember watching Tulsi Gabbard in the debates, and she, like, destroyed Kamala Harris. Like, fucking wrapped her up into, like, a rug and shoved her off Mulholland Drive, right? I was like, fuck, dude. And then all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is the VP, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you pick the worst performer, dude? Why would you pick the fucking worst performer? But at the same time, dude, I remember when she posted that, she had some family that were like, I would never vote. I would never do something like that because I'm adamantly right-wing or whatever. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking game you play on Facebook. This isn't like, you're not actually going and voting for them. You're just seeing if any of them are close-ish to your views. Like, and I remember people getting mad at her for that. And I'm like, that's stupid. And then I did I took the little testing because of how stupid I thought people getting mad at her was. It's like, dude, that's the problem. You can look over it. And I have people in my family who, like, at the moment Bernie Sanders is brought up, they get annoyed, right? Mm-hmm. They just get fucking like, oh, he's a socialist or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but do you not understand the appeal of him? Because people don't do is they get in these hard lock boxes, and then they refuse to look at anybody over on the opposing side and understand what makes them popular, understand what of their rhetoric keeps them going. And I look at like people like Bernie Sanders, and I understand everything that appeals with him, because all the things that, other than like his like views on like socialized healthcare and like kind of him wanting to go in a more socialist direction, which I all disagree with. But in terms of him trying to talk to the middle class is the same reason why I loved Ron Paul, and why at one time I was like, dude, if Ron Paul would have been in fucking like gotten a nomination, dude, there was a chance that I would have like passed out signs. He was the one guy I would have put a sign in my front yard for. I loved Ron Paul. I loved Ron Paul so fucking much. And I remember that the Republican Party at the time didn't like Ron Paul, because Ron Paul was like more about personal liberties. He was more libertarian, and we need to stick with the status quo and all this bullshit, dude. And it's like, you got a guy that would win easily right here, but instead you're putting up fucking Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's always sucked, dude. Mitt Romney's cringe as fuck. Mitt Romney's he probably, in one of his 87 houses, probably has like a bunch of slave children that he has sex with, allegedly in Minecraft. Not really.
Allegedly in Minecraft.
I fucking do not like Mitt Romney. Never have liked Mitt Romney. That was my first election, was Obama versus Mitt Romney. And I remember sitting there and literally thinking, I would rather cut off my toes than be here right now. Why am I at this fucking convention center voting? This sucks, dude. Both of these guys fucking suck. I hate this election. I hate both these guys. I don't want to be here. And I think I ended up voting third party. And I remember like getting the lecture from people, oh, it's throwing your vote away. And I'm like, I am happily throwing my fucking vote away because I'm not voting for Mitt Romney. I hated that dude. I still hate Mitt Romney. What a bitch. What a little fucking bitch. From the beginning, dude. He was literally everything that I hated about conservatism at the time, where it was like, we need to know the values and everything needs to fit in this box of values. And it's like, dude, like, you're willing to sell our own rights up the river for your fucking values argument.
I just imagine somewhere hanging in your house is a dartboard with Mitt Romney's face attached to it.
Dude, no, that would be disgracing my fucking walls with Mitt Romney's face. I never understood that. Yeah, you're throwing a dart at it. Oh, look how tough I am. I'm throwing a dart at it. You still put a fucking picture of them in your house that's like it's always a colored picture too, so you know how much colored ink costs?
That's true.
You're wasting money on colored ink, and it's always like
I respect it more if it were in black and white, you know?
Yeah, dude, I would respect it better if it was a fucking stick figure drawing that just said Mitt Romney on it. That's respectable, dude.
Looks nothing like him.
Yeah, dude, looks nothing like him. It's literally just cattywampus eyes. It's got the smile all wiggly diggly, and the nose is just like an L, and it says Mitt Romney, and Romney's misspelled.
It's made out of popsicle sticks and
yeah.
pipe cleaner.
It's one of the popsicle sticks has a tie drawn on it, but it's just a line that says tie underneath it.
Yeah, and the pipe cleaners are like for the hair and all.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Dude. That I would respect you. I would respect your hatred then. I'm like, I walk in their house, there's just a dartboard with this fucked up elementary school fucking macaroni poster up there. I'm like, what's that? They're like, that's George Soros, and I'm like, cool, dude. Not like George Soros? No, he's gonna destroy the world. He was a Nazi. I'm like, okay, dude. Yeah, no, definitely don't like those guys. Don't like Nazis. They were bad. What am I doing at your house? I was picking you up. Let's get the fuck out of here. I don't want to look at your popsicle drawing anymore. I'm gonna hit play.
But are doing very important work. And we've all gotten on board with them, and we are trusting them to work with Trump and help lead our country in a good direction. These people have all been welcomed with open arms. There will be growing pains for all of this. But we also cannot simply become what we just spent the last 10 years criticizing. Doing daily shows to bring people over to the other side, to show them that they were wrong, to expose the corruption, and then be angry and troll them because they weren't right all along. It literally is cognitive dissonance that makes no sense. We can't build a platform on free speech and then tell people what they can and can't speak about because of their track record or because of what they believed 4 years ago. Like, that's not morally or philosophically consistent, and it's also just not right. It's not a healthy path for us to go down. We are at an incredibly pivotal point in our culture right now, and we cannot get complacent or get messy or get morally inconsistent just because we won a singular election. That means we actually have to lean in more. We have to be better and make sure that we stay on a right path, because if not, we could literally lose all of this and self-implode because of the toxicity, because we got lazy and fell into the same traps that destroyed the left. We have to be self-aware, and we have to be better.
I think
you know what's crazy?
I think that's a good.
What's up, guys, and welcome to.
I can't figure out how to YouTube. Okay, so what I think is great about that is it's like part one, obviously, or episode one of her show, and I think that's a good entry point to be like, listen, this is what I want to do different. And I think she's speaking to a lot of people when she's talking, even though these are kind of old issues and they're not in the like forefront of what's going on. I still think she's talking about a lot of things that is kind of missed between the conversations. I think she's writing that line of like, okay, this is we don't want to turn into the SJWs. We don't want to turn into this. And here's my examples of why we're going in that direction and why this is happening, with still being true to what she is. Now, it's not as hard hitting as I wanted it to be. I'm going to be honest. I think Jake was right that this wasn't the 100% the best video, but I think it was a good intro video to her channel. I wanted it to be more shoe on head. I wanted it to be like, let's call out some fucking shit here. But I think her hands are also tied with where she can't. I shared the stream as a community post. Don't know how much traffic it'll bring, but I'm curious to see. Well, I'm not going to be doing much more politics tonight. I actually have, I'm going to watch Rev's video, which I'm very excited about. It's about a game called Satan, which is a weird transition. Go from Brett Cooper to Satan. But here's the thing, like I think this was a good first video. I think that it shows a good direction for her channel to go to where she can say her opinions without being held to the same standard and same like fucking circle jerk that a lot of the other creators feel like they're locked into. This is one of those things, they can rewind, you're right. This is one of those things that I see this is being a really good way to start your first thing, to kind of break away from the Daily Wire, because the Daily Wire, they all echo each other really, really bad. Because I've listened to a few of them. You listen to like Ben Shapiro's show on one day and Matt Walsh on the same day. They're going to parrot a lot of things, and the talking points are going to be almost the exact same. Now, I know that's because they're both conservative, but also it's just like there's this formula to the people at the Daily Wire and a lot of these conglomerates like PragerU and all of them, to where they have this formula that they abide to, and by coming out and kind of talking out against kind of the cancel culture and doing kind of a little bit different thing, it opens her up to have more of a free flow that I think would really do her really well. Now, no views. Rev.
That's not true. There's 9.
There's 9. I hate when it does that. All right. Well, I'm excited. Okay, so now we got Brett Cooper done. It's done. We're gonna go over. Candace couldn't have a different take on Gaza. That's exactly right. That was the problem. But now we're gonna go into. So there's this game that recently came out. It's called Satan. It's fucking amazing. I made a video on it. Shameless self plug. But we are going to be watching Rev Plays Games. He's the guy on chat right now. He's the smooth southern voice that you hear in the background. Talk, Rev.
Hi, I'm Rev.
Look at you go. You're such a sweet guy. I love you, Rev. You're one of my favorite people. We're going to watch his newest video. I'm very excited to see this. Every time he drops a cool video, I have him on stream to watch it. I didn't have him on for the settlement thing, but we were both busy. You can't have him on every fucking week. He's got a life. I got a life, sort of. But here we go. We're going right into it. Let's skibbity toilet.
Follows our fearless heroine as she descends into the depths of hell itself on a mission to avenge her fallen loved ones, who were sent to an early grave by Satan and his horde of worshippers and demons. Speaking of the demonic hordes and worshippers, I have to commend Gamefruit, the developer of Satan, on the care and detail that he put into the enemy NPCs. They are grotesque in a good way. From eyeball bats to very plump demon boys, every enemy has its own personality. I had the opportunity to speak with Gamefruit prior to this video's release, and to say that I was blown away by the passion and hard work that he put in as a solo developer is an understatement. However, as awesome as the enemy designs are, they are still nasty, nasty demons. And in Gamefruit's own words, a dead demon is a good demon. So they gotta go. I also want to say a big thanks to DOSman Games for gifting me a review key so that I could experience all that Gamefruit has cooked up. As my journey through the game began, I was immediately drawn in.
Dude, here's the thing too. I was gonna try to reach out to this developer, and it's the one DOSman video that I've made where I did not reach out to the developer. I didn't have a lot of time though, so that was kind of.
He's a really cool guy to talk to. I had to Discord chat him. He's from the Czech Republic, so I wasn't able to speak one-on-one with him, like over chat, over
voice call.
He wasn't. He's not comfortable with his spoken English.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Well, that would have been my problem if I tried to call him. I'm a very call-heavy guy. I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm fucking terrible on chat. I like sometimes pay attention to what's going on, but. I was going to reach out to him and I just didn't because when I heard they were dropping the game, I talked to DOSman and he was like, dude, he's like, if you want to play it, yeah, I got a key for you. I got a key. And I had 4 days until the game went live. And by the way, fuck Discord, right? Fuck Discord. It didn't show any footage, right? It doesn't show any footage of what I was doing, but it told people what I was playing.
Yep.
Which is fucked, dude. Because I use YouTube to capture footage, right? I'm retarded when it comes to internet stuff. I am the dumbest of the dumb. I'm over here milking my own nipples while trying to play this fucking game, right? And here I am just putting it to private. It's going private on YouTube. I'm going to download it and I'm going to cut it all up, do my thing. And all of a sudden I get a message with Rev, how's the Satan footage going? And I have a fucking heart attack. I have an absolute fucking heart attack. I'm checking my YouTube, making sure it's not up on my channel. I'm like, oh, it's not on my channel. I'm like, how did you fucking know, Rev? He's like, oh, Discord told me. It was fucking terrifying, dude.
I felt so bad.
Dude, I came off real hostile against you, and that wasn't on
You did.
purpose.
I was like, I didn't mean it. Forgive me, Jiffy.
Scared the fuck out of me, dude. I had like my heart like did that thing, you know, where it's not like skipping a beat, but it like powers through a beat.
Yeah,
And
stuttered. Yeah.
I literally thought that I broke the embargo on this game, and I didn't. I didn't break the embargo, but fuck you, Rev, for making me think so. I don't know how to turn that off where people can't see what I'm playing.
I'm just never gonna ask anymore.
Well, no, I just don't know how to turn that off. I'll have to figure that out in Discord because that was fucked. Like, I mean, it doesn't tell anybody anything other than I'm playing the game, but fuck, dude. But yeah, you know, it's cool that you reach out to him. I mean, he has a YouTube channel too. He has a YouTube channel where he's talked about his different things that he put in and what his stuff he's taken out. I listened to some of that. I didn't put any of it in the video because it was like older and it feels like he had like a cutoff before he cut off his content production on it when he moved over and started working with DOSman Games and started just advertising it more instead of doing dev diaries.
Yeah. I have subscribed to his channel, but I haven't watched a lot of it yet. I stuttered so bad right there. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, you're just fucking...
My brain fried.
God told you played this game and now God hates you. Which is funny because Reverend, you know what's funny about this? Reverend, the cross is upside down, and then Satan, the cross is...
Up,
yeah, dude, it's so weird. Such a weird fucking... I don't know. I love both games, though. I think they're both good in completely different reasons. I mean... Like, Reverend's more, like, tongue-in-cheek, postal, edgy boy. And this one was more, this one would have been closer to something like Blood.
Mm-hmm. And by how immersive it was for me. As a reverend, I too was trained to shiv everyone that doesn't agree with me with a sharpened crucifix, which I immediately put into practice when Satan's followers accosted me, which of course I didn't agree with, so I poked them. My holy shiv and I would continue through the level, compelling Satanists to get out of my way and giving them involuntary piercing should they not heed my commands. I also took the time to give my thoughts on the, artwork. That's rude. Who'd do that to white Jesus? And
Who would do that to white Jesus? I understand it being brown Jesus, but white Jesus, come on. Come on now, son. What you doing to white Jesus? That boy did nothing wrong.
Then I said that and then cracked up afterwards. It's like, why did I say that? Yeah.
God damn it. The real Jesus being brown and shit. I don't believe that. I believe in the Mormon Jesus who came to America.
Admired how strong the stained glass seemed to be. Never in a million years would you find me hitting a stained glass window like this. Those things cost way too much. Honestly, I had way too much.
Dude, yeah, stained glass windows are insanely expensive, bro. Like, insanely expensive. Like, I would not fuck with those. Like, we have we sell like shitty ones at my store, dude. It's just like a touristy bullshit, and they're fucking way more expensive than they should be. And I think they're made out of like cum and sadness, probably by some like children that are like locked in a basement somewhere. And
That's how I make most of my videos.
Yeah, I figured you are a child locked in a basement, pretending to be a reverend. So you're like, I'm a reverend. I have a flock, and your flock is literally the rats that run along the wires.
I'm like a very sad Cinderella.
Today we are going to talk about the Book of Job, and the rats are just like eating your toes.
Got this long scraggly beard. My hair is all messed. You know.
You look like the fucking guy from Catch Me If You Can, but in the book.
Yes.
Like the book iteration, the grosser version.
Yep.
You're fucking looking like Griffith when they find him in Berserk, bro.
Oh no. Fun poking people with the holy shiv, and I made sure that this guy knew it. Get God. You're not gonna get me. I'm trained in the art of crucifix warfare. However, I soon began to realize that it was starting to feel a little unfair. Oh, there's two gunmen. Hang on. I feel a little...
Dude, how did you not find the pistol early on in the game, buddy? You know you have but you haven't used it yet. You just keep getting killed with the crucifix. You just keep crucifixing everybody.
I was having fun, Jiffy.
Well, I agree with the ability to have fun. That's understandable. But yeah, as soon as you said unfair, I'm like, bro, you have a pistol. I'm getting flashbacks to Reverend all over again, you fucking troll. Dude, I'll have all the tools necessary and you just avoid them to go with the most the unusable thing. The thing that's like meant to just be fun for like the first 5 minutes, and then you're like, all right, I'm going on to the real stuff. You're like, nah, give me the hardest way possible.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the next cut is me getting the pistol.
There we go. Finally, dude. You get the pistol way before any of this shit. You just went the wrong direction. There's two ways to go. There's the way to go to the... I actually have footage where I go to the right way every time. I open the door, see a lot of bad guys. I'm like, I'm going to go a different way.
I ran right into him with a crucifix.
I see that. You were just such an interesting gamer, dude. Every time I just am baffled. I'm baffled, and I'm fucking half retarded when it comes to this shit, dude.
I like to make things more difficult, arbitrarily more difficult to myself.
Dude, I could tell. I can tell. You should never play a game like Ninja Gaiden. I just feel like that is not up your alley.
Where'd Rev go? He's been trying to beat Ninja Gaiden for the past 3 years.
Your channel's just about beating each individual enemy.
Yeah, like a 20-minute video on each.
This is how you swing the sword.
Ain't fair. But as luck would have it, I soon found something that would equalize the playing field. Ooh. Ooh!
It's not even the first place you can find the pistols, bro.
Well,
that's like so late. I remember finding those. I'm like, Jesus, I played like half the first mission already. So in that opening room you start in, if you go downstairs and then up the stairs, to the right there's a door that leads you to pistols. Third room in progression. You're halfway through the fucking... Why? Why do you do this to yourself every time?
At this point, Jiffy, you might as well expect it.
I honestly, when I talked to you about this, I was like, he found most of the guns this time. Look at fucking Rev go. And now I feel like you're going to miss so many guns in this. Did you find the cat? We'll get to it. If you didn't find the cat and give it to the cultist to get the machine gun, I'm going to be really mad at you.
Guess we'll have to wait and see. Akimbo pistols. Let me tell you, these bad boys made me feel like some sort of reverendly John Wick, popping Satanists and demons like the priestly Baba Yaga I was born to be. In all seriousness, though, the pistols felt quite balanced. Sure, they were outshined by a few of the other weapons, which I will talk about later on, but to me they never really felt weak. Quite frankly, I used the pistols a lot more than I expected, because I like the feel of them. That, and who doesn't want to run around with akimbo pistols? To that I will say that the weapons in Satan are great. They look really good. And I really did feel powerful running around with all manner of high-velocity exorcism machines. As my journey continued, I would soon try out my new pistols on an enemy that kind of reminded me of a enemy from another horror movie. Editor Rev, yeah? Show them what I'm talking about. You got it, boss. If you too find yourself playing...
Dude, that movie... I was so into The Village, bro. So fucking into The Village. I remember liking The Village all the way up until you find out they're fucking Amish.
Yep.
I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen. And you know M. Night Shyamalan was getting to the end and he was just stroking himself. He's like, the twist, the twist, the twist, the twist. And then the next movie...
was twisting.
What?
He was twisting something.
Oh, yeah, he was twisting his fucking dick as hard as he possibly could, and that's exactly what happened with the ending of The fucking Village. And it sucks because everybody's, like, pulling the fucking stops out in that movie. The movie's great, and then it's like, we're Amish. What? Literally, somebody's dying, and they send the fucking blind chick out to get the medicine. Stupid. So dumb. It was so cool, and then I can buy in signs that water's the bad thing, even though the aliens were dumb for invading a place 70% covered in the thing that kills them. I can buy it, whatever. But you're gonna tell me that they're just letting people die and not getting medicine? Stupid. It's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even the Amish will fucking get real medicine. What are you doing? What are you doing over here, guys? And then they made the movie Lady in the Water, and literally called himself the Prophet. I'm like, fuck off, M. Night Shyamalan, you idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you
Cringe.
fucking cringe clown. I'm like, you peaked with your third movie, The Signs, and it's just been downhill ever since. I watched that Trap movie he did. Fucking terrible. It was terrible.
Signs traumatized me as a kid.
Dude, the scene where they're using the knife as a reflection and the hands comes out of the door. Fucking
Yep.
terrifying.
That's the scene I was thinking about.
Dude, fucking terrifying. Well, that movie has a lot good going for it, but the ending is a little cringe. But Mel Gibson, dude, killed it in that movie. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix was so good. Dude, even the kid actors weren't bad in that movie. Everything was really good in that film.
Great movie.
And Scary Movie 3 coming after it, just like parodying it, so funny.
Playing Satan. Be on the lookout, because there are quite a few secrets that you can find. Secret doors included. I need one of these for my office. The wall, not the shiv cross. Scary Movie 3 and a secret. Let me use my good hand.
Yeah. No. That's Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 3 is the one with Charlie Sheen. And it's basically sign. It makes fun of Signs and 8 Mile and The Ring.
Okay.
And War of the Worlds was Scary Movie 4, I think. Yeah, that one sucked.
Boss Man. Though I'm not going to tell you where that little fella is. Guess you'll just have to explore for yourself. Speaking of exploration, I really enjoyed the level.
Oh, dude, you didn't actually show him where Boss Man was?
No.
Yeah, I thought you were. I totally thought you were gonna clip it from my channel and then put it in there.
I was going to, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to download right, and I don't have OBS on my Surface.
You know what you can do? You can use the screen capture device while it's playing at 1080.
Well, now I know.
Yeah, dude. That's how that's why I stream everything, all my games, because I can capture it on 1080 using the mirror thing, and then I just crop it. So the more you know.
Design in Satan. It was quite a journey going from ransacked and ruined cathedrals to hopping along the sides of buildings in the city map. I will say, however, I would have liked to have seen a level select. One, because it helps my scripts instead of them devolving into ADHD-fueled chaos. And the second reason I would have appreciated a level select is because, as seen in my Reverend review, I am notorious for missing weapons in games, and I can neither confirm nor deny that it happened again. I'll be the first to admit that I don't know what it takes to add a level select, but at this point I'm trying very hard to find something to critique because it's a great game. One of the things that makes this game great is the plentiful boss fights that I was able to experience. Like, the first boss fight in the game is a scuffle in the sanctuary, complete with a raucous electric guitar concert that would have made any old church lady clutch their pearls. Also, this guitarist was surprisingly tough and had an ample amount of companions willing to turn me into a Swiss cheese preacher. In other words, I restarted a lot. Ow. You know what though? I still thoroughly enjoyed this boss fight, I promise. This would make church service suck. I don't know how I'd preach over this. You know, honestly, this is an accurate representation of when you tell people that they're supposed to love the people they want to hate. My eventual victory would reward me with a path forward, where I would immediately fall into what I assume is the grimy catacombs beneath the cathedral. Conveniently, I would land in front of a priestly pal of mine, who swiftly granted me his standard issue pastoral Kevlar, and this made me effectively bulletproof, unlike the many outrageous claims that Kenneth Copeland makes. Look, by now, you might as well expect that Kenneth Copeland is getting roasted at some point in a Rev Plays Games review. He makes my life incredibly difficult. Back to the other
the straight vitriol for Kenneth Copeland, bro. I love it. I love it, dude. Fuck Kenneth Copeland, dude. That dude should pound so much sand up his ass, and then his private jet should just like get peed in, so it never flies again. What? I don't want him to see like actual harm as a person, but I do want everything to go wrong in his life. I think that's.
I hope both sides of his pillow are always warm.
Oh, dude.
That's what I hope.
I hope that every time when he's sleeping, the ceiling jerks off on him. That's what I hope, dude.
I hope his socks are always wet.
Dude, I hope they're filled with semen.
So I'm even better.
Yeah, dude, I'm one-upping you.
Demons in this video. The Catacombs section introduced multiple interesting demon NPCs into the mix. There were some creepy crawly spider skulls that shivered my reverend timbers. A+ for freaking creativity. Those things are horrifying. It's straight on my nightmares. And some stomach-churning hefty boys. Excuse me. But there were two enemies in particular that terrified me the most. The NPC that when created Game Fruit said, let's take the most horrible looking spider known to man and double it in size. Oh, Big Daddy! And even more terrifying, my greatest enemy throughout the entire playthrough, my aim.
Harry! You're alive! And you're a horrible shot.
It's quite sad, really, as I
Dude, come on, bro. That's such a good cut, dude. I love that cut. You just always pull out the niche movies that I forget about, dude. I love it. I fucking love it.
littered the walls with bullet holes and occasionally even
the reference. I thought about that immediately.
Dude, you always hit references that are just so good, that are so obvious that I always forget about. That's why it's just like I pull something every time, dude. Dude, your fucking top tier content is just sickening sometimes, because I feel like I do a good video and then you come in with like way better jokes, and all I am is a cum guzzler, and I want to be more, but not really. I enjoy my little fucking space on the internet. But this deserves so much love. Everybody in chat who's watched this so far, go to Rev's channel and like this video right now. Fucking right now. Or I will be outside your window just licking the window slowly.
He's threatened to start an OnlyFans before.
Yeah, dude, it could happen, bro. I'm like Jabba the Hutt, bro. It would be like gross.
Enemies. My journey through the dark underbelly of the cathedral would lead me to a really interesting looking fortress section, almost like a secret Satanist stronghold, with an interesting enemy that shot a mysterious white liquid out of a suspicious part of its body. Anyway, I gave it a name.
No, it's the Jizz Reaper.
It's the Jizz Reaper. I love it, dude. I fucking love the Jizz Reaper. Yeah, you haven't really talked about the shotgun. I'm waiting for you to get to the shotgun. See what your thoughts are. Yeah, I'm very interested, because I had mixed reviews on the shotgun. That was something I wasn't in love with.
Thoroughly escaping a sticky situation, my journey continued on toward the next big boss. Along the way, I got harassed by demonic mouseketeers.
Ah! Oh no, Mickey, no!
Got munched on by some Wallussies, and did a puzzle.
Dude, Wallussies. Those were some of my favorite level designed things I'd ever seen. The munching walls.
Yeah, me too. I thought they're really cool.
So inventive. So fucking inventive. I actually tested, because you said you had a problem with the quick saves. I tested the quick saves here and just picked like every one to make sure that so I could test the quick save function, and that's in my video. Because obviously it's the fucking GOAT. I think everybody knows it's the GOAT, but I tried every single one, and I even made a joke about the skulls in front of the cat and choosing it and killing me in my video. But I also wanted to test the save function, and I had no problems, which was nice.
Finally, I would confront the next big boss, and boy, was he an ugly son of a gun. He had a big old mouth where his stomach should be, which to be fair is a really cool design by Game Fruit. The boss fight was a lot of fun, and it required me to run from Mr. Mouth McGee there and dodge his plump posse of minions in the process. It actually started to feel really familiar.
I have found myself in Orion's buffet.
Once I had sent the big fella to his eternal nap time, I took off toward the next part of the journey, which we will get to after this brief message. Are you having trouble with the hellish hordes of the underworld? Are you finding those pesky demons in every nook and cranny of your house? Would you like to send these devilish boogers back to where they came from? Then call the Akimbo
so scuffed for that.
Dude, it doesn't sound bad. It really doesn't sound that bad. Until you said something I wasn't even worried about. I was thinking about how much fucking annoying this animation was. Not that it's annoying in the video, how doing it is, because I've done animations like this and they're annoying, but they're like fun at the same time, and you're like feeling so creative at the time, and you're like,
I had a blast.
But
this by far took the longest.
Oh yeah, dude, I told you about the fucking video that fucking flopped harder than ever, and it doesn't matter. I had fun with it. My Poor Things review. I spent like 2 hours on that edit, and I fucking was so proud of myself, and it's only like a minute of the video.
Well, my favorite part of the edit's coming up, because I took a book out of the Scooby-Doo, or a play out of the Scooby-Doo playbook.
Oh, dude, I'm excited.
Preacher. This pistol-packing holy man is rated #1 in supernatural pest control, and you best believe that when the demons see him coming, they're gonna tuck their funny-looking tails between their legs and run screaming back to the pits of hell itself. And if they don't, well, the Akimbo Preacher will remove them with .45 calibers of pure exorcism power. Don't wait until the hordes are flooding out the doors to do something about it. Call 1-800-BYE-BYE-SATAN and take back your home today. Note, the Akimbo Preacher does not cover any damages to property or pets that is caused by his awesome demon-fighting skills. Call now for a steep discount to a price of 1 like and 1 subscribe to Rev Plays Games.
Yeah, I love that you use the Postal Preacher. I love that you use the Postal Preacher because I need to add him more in my videos too because I worked so fucking hard on that that PNG. I worked my fucking ass off to create that. I just sent it to you. I don't know if I told you about the process of making it, but it was a long process to make it look like it worked. Fucking proud of that. So thank you for putting it in your video. I appreciate it. I love that. I love that little picture. I didn't draw any of it, but fucking Photoshop goes hard, right?
It sure does. Really, go ahead and subscribe.
It's gonna be a mainstay on my channel.
Dude, good, dude. I sent it to 2 people once I made it, right? I sent it to you and India Meal because I figured India Meal would really like it, and I knew you would like it because it's fucking.
I also just like playing with PNGs in my videos.
Yeah, and it's also just like it's a fucking preacher with the postal face with guns. I knew you were going to like it, but yeah, dude, I fucking worked. That thing took me like 2 hours to make. And it was one of those things that, you know, sometimes the thumbnail will be real quick, easy. You'll just fucking have an idea, do it, perfect, done, send it. That one I had an idea and there was nothing I could do to make it work. And I had to build that to build my thumbnail, and fuck was that hard, dude. God damn, I know I'm on a tangent, but Jesus.
That's okay.
It's okay. You're good, Jay. Calm down, Jiffy. Calm down. I know you're having flashbacks. Vietnam!
Oh boy.
The tree's talking.
If I had to choose my favorite map, it probably would have been the
Illuminati.
Illuminati. Turn to the freaking frogs, gay. I'm gonna take your leftist ass my corn on the cob. I'll eat ya.
Oh no. The streets level. I really enjoyed hopping along the edges of the buildings, getting jump scared by the motorcycle Satanist. Whoa! I'm a pedestrian. Oh, and by the time I had gotten to this level, I had acquired a Tommy gun and would get my hands on the shotgun as well. The Tommy gun was a mainstay for me, as the magazine capacity made it easier for me to mow down the big enemies, and the shotgun was decently powerful, although I probably would have preferred that both barrels fire at the same time for double damage. However,
that's exactly was my problem, because the reload between them is you forget that it doesn't auto reload. Anytime you play a game with the double barrel shotgun, you just kind of have the doom thought that you shoot, it loads, and then you shoot again.
Yeah, and it just like it shoots, you know, out of both barrels and decimates whatever's in front of it, and then you reload for a second, do it again. Yeah, that's where I was thinking.
Yeah, I thought that the animation.
Not that it wasn't powerful, but I just feel like it wasn't. Yeah.
The
I
power.
feel like it should have just either. I think it would have been fine if it had been like a rapid fire as well, you know, the pop sort of thing. I could have lived with that, but I think even then there was a reload in between, like a decent amount of time in between each shot. But either that or just like we had talked about, almost like the Doom shotgun.
Yeah, no, I was 100% on the same thing, because you shoot the first one and then you shoot the second. You hit the reload button and it takes forever to reload it, which isn't forever, but in a game when you're used to a different style of shotgun, you're wanting it to just like fucking do the thing. I mean, I'm even moving my camera up so because the thing that sucks is this is one of the coolest looking shotguns I've seen in a game in a long time. Oh yeah, it's very well designed.
Yeah. Oh, the weapon sprites are great.
So good. This has some of the best weapon sprites I've played in a DOSman game for sure. And like even the other DOSman games have some really cool weapon sprites. This is up there in the top, at least top like 5 weapon sprites. It just didn't function the way I would like it to have functioned. And I know why they didn't do like a regular Doom style, because I think it would have stun locked the enemies. But
yeah.
At the same time, it should be cooking through the enemies a little faster. So a stun lock shouldn't be the real worry.
Well, especially, I don't know. I feel like because the Tommy gun's stun locked, right?
Yeah, but I actually liked how they mitigated that. So I've noticed that easy FPS games, you can stun lock people really fucking easy. You can just lock them in place. And I like that they have mitigated that in some of these newer easy FPS games where they're adding in a reload and a mag capacity. I just think with the shotgun, you should just have, here's the ammo, and inside the fire animation, you fire, it drops the shotgun, you throw the shells in, pop it up, you fire the next one. Just make that animation a bit longer, because I think you can have like 6 frames, and each one could be a different animation. I think that they should do that for the shotgun, because it just makes it feel, it's not that the shotgun's underpowered, it's just the animation makes it feel underpowered, which makes it a letdown.
Yeah, and see, I didn't know about like how many frames you had to do that. I need to study in on that, especially if I want to review games like this and out of the easy FPS. Making that, knowing that how much goes into that will help me. I think just talking with you about that.
And the reason I've gotten into it is because I've gotten like insanely autistic about easy FPS editor, because if I'm gonna make a video game, it's probably gonna be using this one day. It just seems so cool and so approachable, and it's like, dude, you know how many fucking dildos I could have a guy fling at me? It would be
and
epic.
Then you're gonna let your buddy Rev review the game.
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I'm not doing that for a long time until I get a better PC and I get some like good growth here on YouTube. Once I'm like a fucking smaggle baggle on YouTube, dude, I'm gonna be fucking doing other shit like this, because it'll open these opportunities.
You've gone up a couple, 3 or 4 subs since we've been sitting here.
Really? Have I? That's awesome. Thank you guys for subscribing. I mean, I really appreciate everybody for watching. I mean, definitely go to Rev's channel and subscribe to him. Rev Plays Games, dude. Go find Rev Plays Games. This dude puts out quality fucking content. I have a lot of slop content, which I actually think my opinions are sometimes funny, and I post those all the time. Rev only posts quality content as of right now. I mean, one day maybe he'll slop it up too, but I don't see him being the fucking commentary Tuesday guy. I don't see him doing that.
No, probably not.
but that was my one gripe in the whole game with every weapon, is the shotgun was underpowered. And it was its functionality that made it underpowered.
Yeah. After saving a helpless
Oh, you did find a Rev. Oh my god, I clicked the thing into the 1 second and I forgot to tell you I hit play. But you found the cat, dude. I'm so proud of you. This makes up for a lot of shit. This makes up for a lot of your not finding weapons in FPS games. Is you finding the cat? Dude.
I've already thought about merch. I was thinking about this when I get big enough, to have merch and do all that. One of my first T-shirts or a cup or whatever is going to be, there's a machine gun.
There's a machine gun. Dude, I have a shirt that says I don't have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Oh, that's fantastic. Feline, I would soon receive the coolest looking minigun I have ever seen. This thing rocked. Luckily for me, I got to try it out soon after on an unfortunate mini boss. It's a lot easier when you have a frickin' minigun. I would eventually get my hands on a few other weapons, my favorite being the cross that shot magical cross projectiles at the demons that nearly one-shot most of them, as it should. My journey would take me through a few other boss fights as well, which were all interesting in their own way. The boss fight against Upside Down Jesus was a little weird for me for obvious reasons, and the boss fight against this big guy took a while, but it was...
I like how calm you were about that. We've talked in the background about how that was a tough one for you.
Yeah.
Because anybody who doesn't know, and I think Rev is an actual reverend, so that imagery is tough for his line of work, and I'm sure he had some because even just shooting it is bad. It's bad.
It was an uncomfortable level for me, but I understood it. It's part of the design.
Dude, it's one of those edgy Kino moments, bro. It's one of those edgy Kino moments. And
Game Fruit and I talked about it a little bit. And he chose it because religion can be so controversial. And I was like, well, there it is.
Yeah, so he must be pretty religious. Like,
yeah, I think so. We never really got into that, but but he did say that was something he wanted out of his game was who is the most evil person or what is the ultimate evil you can think of, and for him he went straight to Satan, all of that, that religion, the religious part of that.
Well, and
here's demons and all that.
Here's the thing too, like the religion is used a lot, right? I mean, fucking Doom, space demons, but religion is used a lot. It just is. It's used in a lot of media. But I felt like, and I'm not even religious. We know this about me. But the fact that he knew the demons' names well enough to name them all actually after demons, like that's a step a lot of people wouldn't take. A lot of the imagery feels very, very like hard. It's like metal, but it's also just like it hits a little different because it feels more like there's something behind it, And I think that's what makes it so cool. It's playing with something he knows. It seems like he knows pretty personally, but also like in an unabashed way. But it doesn't ever feel to me. It never felt like anti-religion.
No, and I didn't think with the upside down Jesus level, it never felt as though it was being, mean. It was more of an artistic choice in that. I was like, cool. I can live with that.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. And I mean, dude, I'm betting money that sold games for him, 100%. I wanted to put that on my thumbnail, but I couldn't figure out how. But it's like I knew that I would get a click on the thumbnail. It's just such a good fucking design for a boss in terms of intrigue. Because you don't see it. And I like when people push the lines. I know that it's like pushing the lines in a tasteful way while having an understanding of the stuff you're doing, because it's always seems more offensive when you don't have an understanding, or it almost feels tasteless, not offensive, tasteless, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you're not using tasteless shit to be funny, because like putting something crude like that in a Postal game, it's like, it's a little tasteless, but this is Postal, so it's kind of funny. You put it in a game like this, it's like edgy and hard metal, and you're like but you feel like there's a little bit more depth to this and intrigue, and so you start actually paying attention, and you're like, wow, dude, he actually knew all the names of the demons. I didn't even fucking know that. It seems like there was like actual work done behind the scenes on this story-wise, which is crazy, because it's not like it's not the deepest story, but there's a story there, and there's intrigue there, and I feel like a lot of it ties back to biblical shit that I don't know anything about. Rev, I teed it up for you. Biblical shit that I don't know anything about.
No, I was putting together my words. No, I was gonna, I enjoyed a lot of the references that he made. I mean, I don't necessarily know all the demon names either. They don't. There's not a class on that in the seminary, right?
There's not like a poster with the names on them, and then just like shittily Mitt Romney looking motherfuckers up there, and you're like, this is who you need to watch out for, because this is Beelzebub. Beelzebub.
Yeah.
All right, class, stand up and throw darts.
There's actually like an FBI's most wanted like screen that sits in the middle of the seminary, and it's got them all on there.
You got the kids in there like, listen, this is Bible class. This is Sunday school. You gotta watch out for these guys. We got Beelzebub here. He's the Lord of the Flies.
Just holding up the freaking placards that you see in like the mug shots.
yeah. And each one, it doesn't change the picture. It's just all Mitt Romney.
It's just Mitt Romney.
And what's that preacher's name?
Demon names.
What's that preacher's name? That you hate?
Oh, Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah, there's like half of them are Mitt Romney, and the other half are Kenneth Copeland, and that's your
group.
I know, dude. The worst, dude. You got the worst Mormon and the worst Christian.
Well, that's a stretch, but sure.
Whatever he is, dude. Whatever he is.
Snake,
exactly. Snake.
It was quite fun. Eventually, I would take on the big boss.
Get me started,
Bro just goes on a fucking anti-Kenneth Copeland rant right in the middle of this. He's like, fucking Kenneth Copeland.
I checked my email, got a cease and desist order from him.
I'll say, dude, Kenneth Copeland, you little dick having piece of shit motherfucker, dude. I hope that every day you wake up and just a big fat ugly man and woman bend over and shit on you, because that's what you do on everybody else is shit on them with your stupid ass rhetoric. Fuck you, Kenneth Copeland, you big ass pussy bitch motherfucker.
There you go.
I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna slap my titties against your face and say, you a bitch, Kenneth Copeland. Get your old ass up, dude. We can go to the gym. I'm gonna fucking Muhammad Ali your ass real quick, bitch.
And then he's gonna start an OnlyFans.
And then I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. The whole OnlyFans is just me fucking with Kenneth Copeland. Dude, I in that moment I felt like the Key and Peele sketch.
That was fantastic.
I'm gonna hit play.
Of the hellish hordes, Satan. And if I could be candid, this boss fight was cool, but it made me want to swan dive into a pool full of cinder blocks, mainly because my uncoordinated self couldn't stay on top of any of the platforms. My only consolation was that I got to mow down the King of Hell with a freaking minigun. Admittedly, I could talk for hours on end about the game, but I also don't want to spoil everything for you. Talking with Gamefruit, he told me about the many hours that it took to animate the NPCs and the weapons, and how much effort it took to get this game to the point where it is now. If a Satan-slaying boomer shooter is right up your alley, then I would definitely recommend that you play Satan. You can purchase it right now on Steam for $2.99 USD, or you could purchase the entire DOSman collection bundle for $13.45 USD, which includes Satan as well as Reverend. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing Satan, and I would like to commend Gamefruit for his hard work and dedication to creating such an enjoyable gaming experience. And I would also like to share, straight from DOSman himself, that if you would like to see a Satan sequel, say that 3 times fast, be sure to shout at Gamefruit, and DOSman will force him to make it. If you enjoyed the video, please...
DOSman will force him to make it.
Yep.
Dude, I would love to see a heaven version of this, where they go up into heaven and fight, like if demons break into heaven or something, or
Yeah,
like...
Absolutely.
And fight like kind of what Doom did. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't play the DLCs for Doom Eternal, but that's that would be a cool something, just like contrast this completely with brighter surroundings and more angelic surroundings. I think would be really cool, because like the vibes I got from this game, and I didn't realize it till I got the cross, was, you ever play Dante's Inferno?
No, but Snail and I talked about me doing that just as a passion video.
Dude,
I've read the story.
you know, it'd be so funny, dude. So the game has nothing to do with the story at all.
I know.
But you should utilize the story as like a compare and contrast, because honestly, I feel like the character in Dante's Inferno has a much more righteous, he's trying to save his family, right? From like damnation or something. He's trying to like, they've been like, I can't remember all the things that happened. I have to replay Dante's Inferno. But to contrast it with fucking then let's go check it. Who wrote it? Dante, right? Or right? It was Dante Alighieri, yeah.
Yeah.
So Dante, then let's compare with what Dante Alighieri did in this point. Have you heard about the election? Do you know what's going on with the election in Florence?
No.
Dude, are you Oh, you're burning. You want to know about your son? But who's winning the election right now? Well, that's the real question. I know you're having trouble, bud. What about the election? Oh, yes, it is me, Dante Alighieri, the greatest of the great people. Bro had so much fucking ego. It was ridiculous, bro. What a fucking... Like, I like Dante's Inferno, but God, does he get a little fucking pompous in his direction. It's, somebody said it. I've seen it called, the best... One of the best, biblical fan fictions of all time. Which I think is hilarious. Because... Oh, dude, Dante's Inferno is just fucking... Every 5 minutes.
I'll put it on my list to play. I'm gonna put that on my list.
It's a good game. It's
a growing list, but
there is a section of the game that you will not be able to show here on YouTube.
Yeah.
There is this boss that literally throws babies out of her nipples with that have razor hands. It's a little bit of a tough boss fight to put in a YouTube
That's
video.
Yeah.
Great boss fight,
I just
though.
edit every baby.
No, the babies aren't the edit, dude. It's the nipples. Can't
I
show.
just superimpose like a dress on her.
This is not what she'd wear to her Sunday bests. Dear God, dude.
So now we can't be wearing that, or not wearing that. I mean,
Jesus, bro, just fucking. Oh, dude, yeah, I think that would work. There, like Dante's Inferno was another game that fits in the same category that I think would be really good on your channel. Like Doom, no, like you know what I mean. Like unless you really want to fucking play Doom, the original Dooms. I see no, dude. Who wants to play? I have a video on the original Dooms, and I didn't even want to play the original Dooms. It's like they're so old. Like
they were cool for their time.
They're cool for their time, but they should just stay there. I have a video where I reviewed Doom mods coming up. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen, and I had fun with that video. But I didn't play very far in any of those Doom mods, and I was like, how do I make a Doom video that's fun? And I saw that they added mods, and I was like, all right, let's fucking do it.
Oh my,
bro. That was great. Yeah, it was a good video. You always put out really good content, dude. I think more people need to go sub to your channel. I mean, like, let me look it up again. Just to pull up your channel. I mean, have you gotten more? I feel like lately, let's see what you're at. When we started talking, oh, you've gained 2 subscribers since we started talking. You deserve more. You deserve way more subscribers, dude. I definitely believe that wholeheartedly.
I'm just, you know, at this point, it'll happen when it happens, if it happens. So
that's kind of all you can do.
Yeah, and again, you know, like you and I have talked about, I like to do it because it's fun. You know, I enjoy the creative part more than anything. A lot of people don't like the editing process sometimes. I thoroughly enjoy being able to select what I want to put in there and where, and writing the script and then animating everything. I get a lot of enjoyment out of just doing that. And I've come to recognize that as I've gotten, you know, more experience in doing YouTube, as and Snail constantly getting on to me about worrying about analytics. But
you can't even worry because when we were talking about CRT the other day, I've had videos that dropped, had fucking AIDS CRT, and then ended up getting good views. It's almost feels sometimes random what hits and what doesn't. It really does. I mean, you go through like the shit that I've done, right? And my Satan video got terrible CRT. Awful CRT, and I thought I did really good on that thumbnail. And it did okay. I got 350 views. Same with Phantom Fury, got terrible CRT. And I try to, like, I feel like all of my videos here are something I see a big YouTuber make a thumbnail like. I don't. And sometimes they do really good.
I like your Satan thumbnail.
I like it a lot too. It's just the CRT said it was low. Then I have ones like the fucking Joe Rogan one. This one had a terrible CRT. Awful. But the video got 2,000 views. This one had a high. This is the only one that I know that had a good high CRT and then did well. This one had my Mark Hamill is Unhinged video had an amazing CRT when it dropped. I was talking to like a 12% CRT. And it's sitting at 25 views. It is one of the worst performing videos, and it had an amazing CRT. Like, just completely gangbusters. So it really doesn't. It does matter, but it also doesn't, because then you'll see the video like a month later and it'll have a terrible CRT. So it's hard to really gauge CRT when it first drops, you know? Because again, I don't even know what works on mine. I know that sometimes I've done them. I'm like, this is terrible. Like this Disney one. Now that I'm looking at it on my thing, I understand why it did bad. The autism one looked really good on the thing you sent me and on my phone. And then now that I'm looking at it on with the black background, it looks terrible. But with the white background, it looks amazing. And most people use YouTube in dark mode, and something I didn't think about.
Dark mode, yeah, mine's on dark mode too.
These two should have done way better because, well, that one did okay. But, like, I'll give this one a couple more days because it came out yesterday. I don't judge my video until about 3 days after it came out, because usually by day 3, it's hit everybody's subscribe box. And then also hit the algorithm to, like, the full extent. It's usually day 3 I'll see a boost for some reason.
Yeah, I'm wondering, you know, I haven't even hit 100 yet, video wise, so I don't really have that big of a presence as far as algorithms concerned. And I'm wondering, you know, if I'll see more. Not that 100's the mark. I know that's like the legend.
Yeah.
The rumor.
It doesn't matter. 100 doesn't matter at all. 100 doesn't matter at all. I didn't get great. I'm trying to get back far enough to where I get to where I would have been at 100 subs. Here we go. So I kind of cheesed the system by putting out a bunch of shorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of my videos around this era, I would get a subscriber. Like that one gave me a couple subscribers. This Punisher one gave me a couple subscribers. That's sitting at 32 or 323 views. I've gained weight since then. But all of these old videos, the only one that did anything that was really worth a shit was my Warriors one, and it hit 35,000. But you look at even my output after that, I'm looking at sometimes I might get a video that'll hit 100 if I'm lucky. Like the biggest video, I remember when I did my Postal, Xbox is missing out on Postal 4. I was like, 320 views, that's insane, dude. I fucking was jonesing. And it wasn't really until I decided to start making better content like you do, like more quality shit, and start looking at everybody's thumbnails. I started looking at everyone's thumbnails on why they're, like what makes them good. What is like, I would look up other big video game channels and retrospective channels. Like I would pull up like, let's say, the Salt Factory. Well, the Salt Factory, right? I would look at his and see, like, what does he do? What does his look like? I'm like, okay, he does the real wordy thing. And that was kind of falling down in the algorithm. I was like, okay, so stay away from that. And then I would look up, like...
Back in 2014, a small, unproven studio...
I would look up, like, your favorite son. Or son... I'm just thinking, like, trying to pop people off the top of my head. I'd look at his stuff, and I'd see, like, the Almost Perfect, the Dead Space. I like the way that he would work with the... He works a lot with the 3, the whatever that is, the theory of threes or whatever. I was like, okay, I like that. I messed with that, so I added that in a little bit. G-Man, I looked at his a lot. Like, what does he do that makes it work? And he does a lot of the meme shit. I was like, I don't know how to make these memes, so I can't do that. But I'd look at the ones that weren't memes, and I'm like, okay, so that's how he did it. Use this and find like, I just like kept compiling the best of the best that I could think of, all the bigger YouTubers I could think of. Don't use Civi 11 as a fucking thumbnail guy ever, because his are like the fucking worst, and I think his is all personality based. Like, his thumbnails are so fucking bare bones, dude. Literally, he uses, like, the most basic shit ever. Sometimes they're cool, but most of the time they are the most basic shit you can find. And it works for him. You know it's a Civi video, but I looked at kind of up-and-coming channels, and I also like looked at like some of the clickbaity, oh, I got this shit, how to get 1 million views or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so utilize their styles, and I got a little autistic with it really bad, and I still am messing with it a lot, but fucking...
Yeah, I've been trying to employ the rule of 3 stuff in my thumbnails a lot. And That seems to be working out. I've seen an increase for sure in click-through rate and whatnot. So it's got merit. That's actually a camera. That's a photography rule.
Yeah.
That they in film. And so if it's got a base and it's got evidence to being right. So I use it and it has worked for me.
Absolutely. And one thing too to always keep in mind is lighter background is important, and it's something I've noticed lately because of everybody using dark mode. Everybody uses dark mode, so yeah, so you can do the lighter one. I'm gonna watch one more video, Rev. Do you want to come along for the ride?
I'll come along for the ride.
This last one is a YouTuber that actually worked with me on my collaboration project I did like a year ago. He was on there with Snail and some other people. This is before I knew you. But he made 2 videos that I think are amazing. Thumbnail needs a bit of work on both of them. His thumbnails are not my favorite thumbnails. I think that they're okay. They just have a lot going on. And even the ones that are simplistic have too much going on. But I think both of these videos are fucking amazing. Yeah, dude, he has really good branding. He's up there with you with the branding. But so I was trying to find people for the project. I had some people back out, and I was like, I need somebody for this project. And I literally typed in retrospective and filtered the results for in the last hour. So when he had posted this video, his first video, I went on it and got his email. Watched it, was like, this is good, I want him for my video, and got him in my video. And he actually was in the project, did a really good section on his game that he hated was the Clone Wars on the Wii. And I thought he had a lot of potential, and then he disappeared for 9 months. And I was like, bro, did he quit because he didn't get good views on those 2 videos? Because I could see that. Working that hard on those 2 videos and then quitting. That could, like, hurt. But, like, that's one of those things where I'm like telling you, Rev, don't quit. Because there are people that are hella talented that their first couple videos, like, when he stopped, those videos were not at a lot of views. I think that last time I checked on it, you were looking at, how many? He was probably looking at, like, 15 and 20 on each of them, right? And now they're at 70 and 50, and now he's doing like Nintendo news or whatever, or like thought this one's the Nintendo GameCube, why it failed, which I'm very interested to see why he thinks the Nintendo GameCube failed, because I already have my own perspective on that. But it's like the dude, people will find your stuff and then watch your other stuff if it's good. And so don't get disheartened. I mean, you have a good chance to keep going. I mean, it's just that one video, dude. It's one video to do decent.
Flung around in the early 2000s.
And then it's just about keeping going and trying to capitalize on that the best as possible. I mean, that's why I switched to game reviews. I had the Warriors video do good. And then I did a video where I did commentary and some people liked it, and so I started putting out the stream clips. But I think I want to see this guy do good. So let's watch the video, see his perspective. It's only 5 minutes, so it's not too long. Then I got to go to bed because I got to get up at 4.
Oh yeah, I've got to travel in the morning, so I'm right there with you.
Oof.
Thousands. While there were lots of reasons flung around in the early 2000s as to why the PS2 was better than the GameCube, there was really only one that sealed its fate and ensured that it lost the gaming battle between Sony and Nintendo. With the N64 being defeated by the newcomer, seemingly before it even released, it was imperative that Nintendo started to reclaim their market dominance. But despite the Nintendo 64's biggest flaw...
Okay, so I already have a problem right here. I like his music. I like everything he's doing. The video is great. It's always I see this thing that kind of done retroactive. It's fucking bothers me. People retroactively almost forget like the Xbox ever fucking launched. You notice how they always put the argument like the Nintendo and the PlayStation, because that was the argument before the Xbox came out. But I think that people don't realize how well the Xbox did. Now, it didn't compete with the PlayStation 2, of course, but it hit somewhere in the cultural mind, guys, and a lot of the people that were willing to work with Nintendo because of their incredible, because the Nintendo GameCube had incredible hardware compared to the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2's hardware was fucking booty cheeks. It was literally like putting your dick on a frying pan. It was not great. But the Xbox, the benefit it had over the GameCube, which made a lot of people that would have potentially gone to the GameCube over PlayStation, and now we're going to Xbox because they didn't have to make fucking stupid discs. So where Nintendo failed, literally Xbox picked up the slack, and even games that were released exclusively on the GameCube are like, well, wait, because there was games that were released exclusively on the GameCube and the Xbox and wouldn't go to the PlayStation because of the limiting hardware. There is cases of games stopping on the GameCube and continuing on the Xbox. Just because those discs were fucking hard to manufacture for.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you have any? Was this your era of gaming? When did you start, Rev?
I was gaming like when Sega Genesis. So yeah, I've been around.
Oh, dude, you've had that shit for a while.
Yeah.
So you remember the Sega days. See, the Sega was dead by the time I got into this shit. I had like an aunt that was old and had a Sega.
I grew up on a PS1. Though, for most of my time.
Ooh, no joysticks, no fun.
Being its restrictive storage medium, Nintendo continued to make the same mistakes again when designing the GameCube. You see, with Sony coming out the gates running with its new PS2 featuring large capacity DVD discs, allowing for massive worlds, large intricate textures and high quality full motion video. Nintendo, on the other hand, seemingly didn't learn from its mistakes with the 64 and crippled the GameCube with its GC-ROM discs.
He missed the ledge on purpose to have the two bad during the same mistakes.
Yeah.
That was clever.
That was clever. I like that. Again, this dude's fucking clean when it comes to editing, when it comes to his sound design. This guy knows how to make a fucking good YouTube video. That's why I think I wanted to watch. I'm glad you're here and want to watch it, because I see a lot of similarities with great editing style. And I knew you would catch up on it, because I am very much slap my B-roll together in a semi-decent way and then put my other shit on top of it. I layer. I don't match, if you know what I mean. I just layer until it works with my editing, which is
I'm very much a cut here. I want it here at this point.
Yeah, dude, I cut it all. I cut the whole game up. I put it in, and then I make cuts to match my talking over it, but I use them as points that I wanted to get to in the video. So I use that almost as like a proof of script. In my head, while I'm cutting the pieces in place, I'm thinking, oh, this is what I want to say next about this part. This is what I want to say next about this part. And that's my proof of script.
Yeah. One of the things that I've started doing that I really like to do with my scripts is, if I remember a certain point that I really enjoyed in the when I was recording, like in the Sanctuary fight, when I said, this is a great representation of what it's like when you tell people they'll love the people they want to hate.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered that while I was writing it, and so I wrote that into the script where it was going to be, where I wanted it, and I put it like in parentheses and said, Sanctuary, love the people they hate clip, and so that's how I know where to put it, and I like all of them. And so I do that a lot.
Dude.
A lot of those cut out moments, where I cut into, and it's like an interjection, like comedic relief, are actually written into the script.
Oh, dude, that's. I don't write scripts. I have written scripts. I don't know how to, like, the stuff that goes behind that, just the level of detail you guys do when you do that. I just like lead myself into the next joke. My Half-Life video I did recently doesn't have as many good jokes as I wanted to, but I just decided I'm going to piss people off, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's probably gonna be fine.
Yeah.
We'll see,
and when they get mad at you in the comments, you can farm them.
Yep, and I'm very good at farming the comments. I am very good at that. I'm like incredible at farming comments. Let's see him. Do you think he's gonna mention the Xbox's existence in this entire video?
I'm gonna bet not.
Which, God, it's so disingenuous to the point of what because like to miss out on Halo being such a cultural phenomenon that it was is to misunderstand also why the GameCube failed. Because the GameCube didn't have anything that really did anything culturally either. It just existed. It just existed. It had better hardware, but it was nobody wanted to work on it. And it had good games, but culturally it didn't have that game that everybody needed. And PlayStation had that.
You know,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never owned a GameCube. I didn't own it. I owned a PS1 and I got the Xbox when it came out. And my dad loved playing some, you know, PS1 games and Sega, and so he's the one that got me started. It's his fault. He you know, so I actually never had a GameCube. And honestly, you know what I remember more than the GameCube is the freaking analog, like the game system analog they had in the Drake and Josh series.
Oh, the
Game
Sphere.
Sphere.
The Game Sphere. Yeah.
I remember that more than I remember the GameCube.
Yeah, that was crazy. I forgot because they used to have the Apple phones too, or the Pear phones and shit too.
The Pear phones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just those little analogs. That's what that reminds me to. I'm like, oh yeah, the GameCube existed.
Yeah. We had a GameCube, right? Because my grandparents won it in like a raffle, and so the year we got an Xbox for Christmas, my grandparents had also won this GameCube, so we got that too. And I remember the GameCube had like some games I liked, like Mario Sunshine. The game he's playing right now is one of my favorite Mario games ever made. Love it. It's fucking amazing. Also Luigi's Mansion is one of the greatest games I've ever played in terms of platformers. But to be honest with you, if I would have had a PS2 and an Xbox, dude, I could have been playing Gears or God of War and Halo. That's way better combo, bro. That's a way better combo. But
yeah.
At the same time, Mario Party did go hard. The GameCube, I have good memories of the GameCube, but like you hit a point about mid-generation with the GameCube where you stopped seeing GameCube games. You were just kind of seeing Nintendo's output, and you were not seeing anybody else work on the GameCube. Because why would they when they have both the Xbox and the PlayStation to develop for? And if their game was too demanding for the PlayStation, the Xbox existed. They didn't have to bend the knee to Nintendo. So there was a third option that disappeared during the... Because there was a third option during the PS1, but there really wasn't. The Dreamcast people, it had the same problem where they just stopped developing for the Dreamcast. And so you had Nintendo versus PlayStation, and there was no third party, and it seemed like there wasn't going to be. And then Microsoft dropped a lot. There was a lot of stuff behind it. It was a very powerful system, and I think it took a lot of the power that Nintendo had in their head about having the more powerful system.
Yeah.
Let's see what he has to say. I don't think he's going to bring it up, though, because British people don't know what an Xbox is.
Sadly, the port console never even stood a chance.
Interesting
Initially
claim.
I know, especially when one of the biggest Halo creators is hidden Experion and he's British. I just like throwing shade at the Brits, bro. I love throwing shade at the Brits, bro. It's just like fun. I don't know.
And Chomps isn't even here.
I know. Chomps isn't even here, bro. It's too late for him over in fucking Queensland.
To prevent piracy, reduce manufacturing costs compared to cartridges, and avoid paying licensing fees to the DVD forum, Nintendo designed their own proprietary version of the mini DVD. Being only 8 centimeters in diameter, these discs could only hold a maximum of 1.4 gigabytes versus the PS2's full-size DVDs holding up to 4.7. And while this was all well and good for Nintendo, as they were happy to tailor their software to these limitations, it forced all of the third-party developers who were planning to bring their games to both the PS2 and the GameCube to either make sure that both of their games were small enough to fit on the Cube's discs, so that there wasn't a perceivable difference between the versions, or make the GameCube's version technically inferior, despite the purple lunchbox being more powerful than the PS2. What ended up happening was, even though the initial third-party support was promised by developers, increased development difficulties and the lack of console sales made sure that most developers cancelled or didn't even consider the GameCube as a viable platform for their games. And while being the more powerful console for gamers, developers still chose the infinitely harder to develop for PS2 over the GameCube simply because there was already a user base that owned the platform.
See, this is where he missed it out too, because there were some people who they refused to develop for the PlayStation 2 and would develop only for the Xbox 2 because it was hard to develop for. There was the fact that Nintendo missed that entire market share and a lot of it went to Xbox is, I think, one of the things that made Xbox do, like, the 360 doing as well as it did was because the Xbox original was a surprise hit.
Yeah.
And it took that market share. And even when Nintendo came back, I mean, the Wii wasn't taking any market share. It was just living in its own little fucking world because everybody's grandma had one.
It was in its own little niche, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Nintendo realized with the Wii, and then they messed up with the Wii U, but then they realized the Switch was, like, it's its own niche, dude. Nobody... I
love my Switch.
Yeah, dude, me too. I love my Switch. It's definitely got hardware constraints, like a lot of them, but the novelty of it is amazing. I can sit and watch TV and play my games and chill. It's the novelty of it.
It is, and being able to carry it with you wherever you want to go. I don't even have to do that. I wouldn't want to do that with my computer, Nope. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, my Switch isn't playing this game at 1440, and it's not, high ultra graphics on anything. Like, I'm not expecting it out of that. I'm not expecting computer level stuff.
And I actually am expecting them to do better in that regard for the Switch too. I hope that they go closer because they have competition now. If they don't come out with something,
you've got the Asus Ally and the Steam Deck and all that.
Mm-hmm. And they're not the only game in town. I mean, there's also the cloud dedicated devices, which are very popular. There's a bunch of other options now. And
the ones you can attach to your phone are really good. The backbones and stuff.
I have that. Yeah, I have the Backbone, and I play my Game Pass games on it.
I got the new iPhone that has the C charger, and so I have to buy a new Backbone that has the C attachment.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it sucks.
Dude, mine stopped working, my Backbone, after like a year. And so I bought a new one because it was on sale because they moved all of them to the C's and there was one left of the Lightning. So I bought it for like, what did I get it for? Like $50? $30?
Yeah.
I think it was like $30. I don't know. It was super cheap. It was ridiculously cheap compared to like the $100 I paid before. And I gave the other one to my daughter. So whenever I'm playing games, I just hand her the old Backbone controller and she thinks she chews on it, but she doesn't reach for my controller because she has one.
That's right. She's playing with you.
Exactly.
And they're willing to purchase their games. Now, looking at Nintendo today, they're still exactly the same. Their consoles use proprietary storage mediums, they're underpowered compared to their competition, and while they've made big strides in the right direction, they still really haven't got the same level of friendship that they had with the third-party developers as the likes of Sony now have. However, this isn't such a bad thing anymore. You see, Nintendo's, the masters of fun, like to include something new and exciting with every console they release. Something that sets them apart from the competition. For example, the Wii had its motion controls, appealing at...
Yeah, so he's getting into what made them succeed, and like we said, everything became gimmicky. I mean, it works for them, sure, but I also see that that's something that makes me worried about the Switch too, because the gimmick's gone for me. If I'm looking at two things, right? I'm looking, and it is nice that for once all your games are going over to the new system. Thank God. They said that most of the Switch 2 or the Switch library will transfer over to the Switch 2, which if they wouldn't have done,
me happy.
Yeah, dude, that would have been a big fucking L. That would have been a big L when everybody else is already... That's been a battle that's been long dead. I think PlayStation lost that battle hard with PS5. And that's the benefit of having... Even when Microsoft isn't doing much, other than just existing. And, I mean, they're still making a ton of money by third-party publishing. But just by them having a console in the industry... people are gonna be like, well, Xbox does it. Why don't you do it? And then so they do it. They make the choices. They make the choices to do the things. Hi, Squibbly Wibbly. They make these choices, and it's not because even just the talking point of it being there is good enough to make a to make it exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which pisses me off because Nintendo. Yeah, because Nintendo basically does whatever the fuck they want, and then DMCA's everybody, and then you can't critique them.
Yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, we probably talk too much. They're gonna get us.
Dude, Savannah's trying to cut me off, dude. She's like, Dad, you're going to lose your channel. Nintendo's gonna hate you. Mario's gonna
or they who was that fellow we were watching the other day that has the really ill takes but it's a Nintendo stand?
Oh, dude, Harmon Smith. Harmon Smith's gonna show up at my house being completely naked in a Mario hat. And he's like, I hate women and the gays. And I'm like, Harmon Smith, no. And he's like, look at my micro penis. And I'm like, Harmon Smith, leave.
Have mercy.
Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna play again.
Itself to the casual market. The Wii U had its gamepad, allowing for completely new types of play not possible with just a standard controller. And the Switch. Well, the Switch takes everything that makes a Nintendo home console great and allows you to bring it on the road. And while Nintendo still suffers with the same problems it always has done, it negates those problems by bringing a level of its own Nintendo-y charm to the systems, and make sure that even if you own one of their previous consoles, or a PlayStation, or an Xbox, or a PC, that
Xbox got mentioned. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey.
I still think he didn't utilize Xbox as much as they should have been utilized in this argument. I think that their influence is diminished a lot because Microsoft being a big company. But what people don't remember is Panasonic, which was a juggernaut when they entered the console industry, they failed. Apple, when they entered, they failed. Google, when they entered, they failed. So, does that Xbox has had 3 consoles? 3, right? 4. We've had 4?
4.
Is such a fucking monumental thing, because I think Sega only had 3, didn't they?
I believe it was 3. You had the Genesis, the well, that's where I can go think back to the Genesis, but there's another one before that.
Yeah, it was like the Sega, and then the Sega Genesis, and then the Dreamcast, and that was it. They were dead.
The Dreamcast, that's it. Yeah.
So the fact that Microsoft's held on this long, and their gaming is actually making money, even though like Xboxes don't sell incredibly well anymore, because of how one, they bought a bunch, but also they just put out a bunch of content. Now they can't.
And I quote from Miss Rev, "I need to squish that baby. OMG, she's so cute."
Yeah, she's my baby to squish. Say hi to Miss Rev. Hi, Miss Rev. Hi. Say squiggly wiggly do. She didn't say anything. She doesn't understand how to talk. She can say da da. That's all she can say. It's like da 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 da. But yeah, dude, I just think there's this idea that Xbox wasn't as big, because we look at Xbox now where it's kind of in a sad position. It's been in a sad position in a while, and it's hard to remember, especially if you're younger than us, Rev. You don't remember when they were the juggernaut.
Yeah.
Because Halo 2 was massive. Massive. And, do you remember the Halo 3 release?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there wasn't a GameStop in the country that didn't have people waiting a week before that game came out. It was fucking nuts.
I know. I don't know that I didn't wait a night. I went in the day of and got it. But I remember people being lined up outside of our GameStop where I grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and it was insane to see how many people were sitting outside of it. And I'm pretty sure that GameStop that I'm thinking of still has the Halo 3 release poster sitting up in front of it. So,
that's sick, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's one of the things I love about that one.
It's just such a monumental move. I mean, like, Halo is literally what's set the trend for games like Call of Duty and then our Fortnites and everything after, like, obviously people like discount what Halo did, but we wouldn't have the multiplayer world we would have right now if it wasn't for Halo basically taking PC gaming and dumbing it down for console players. Not really dumbing it down, but changing it. It put a different flow on it. It wasn't. It didn't feel like it was this. Because you try to play Quake multiplayer. Oof, these guys are fucking mean. Like Halo, you have a chance, but if you don't know how to rocket jump and do all the fucking weird tricks, dude, you're fucked. In Quake, right?
Yeah.
But Halo always had less barrier to entry. And
yeah, I played the mess out of some Halo.
Yeah, dude, it was just iconic, and it's like, I just feel like, yeah, Microsoft is kind of in a fucking weird place. They've been in a weird place. Their output hasn't been great. Their console support is weird, but they've done some things right, and they've maintained in the industry. And to say that, like, if the Xbox would have flopped as hard as people pretend that it did, like that they just stayed because they had a lot of money. The Xbox was an experiment, and Bill Gates said if it flops, we're cutting it. They had no ties to that thing. It was an idea, and it had to do well to still be here. So
and 4 consoles later.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that and I think that it was Nintendo's mistakes here, and PlayStation making their shit hard to develop for, which led to the Xbox's success, because a lot of games from PC, like FPS games from PC at the time, would come to the Xbox because it was easy to develop for.
Yeah. You still have a reason to buy their offering too. And this is what ended up being the GameCube's problem. It had all of the struggles that a Nintendo console had without any of the Nintendo magic that usually helped them get by. If maybe it had a special Nintendo-y gimmick, then it...
Well, and this is another thing where I'm cutting him off right away again, but he's saying something about the reason that the GameCube didn't get by is it didn't have that special Nintendo-y gimmick. The Nintendo consoles before the GameCube, or up to the GameCube, never had a gimmick. The gimmick didn't exist. Like, can you think of one that had a gimmick? Or, to me, it was just like, they made video games.
Yeah. The only one I can think of is GameCube.
Yeah, so they got up to the GameCube, and that gimmick, GameCube had a gimmick. It was supposed to be your anywhere console.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first one with a gimmick, and the gimmick failed. But then they decided they developed motion controls, and that was gangbusters. And I think then they realized the gimmick worked, but then they flopped. The Wii U is one of the worst selling consoles of all time, and the gimmick didn't work there. And then they basically said, we have two things that are sold well: the Wii and the 3DS, or the DSs. The DS sell really well, and the Wii sells really well. So let's combine them into one device. I think, and they did that because I think that if they would have had another flop after the Wii U, Nintendo would have probably been in a lot of trouble. The Wii U was a really bad flop. Like, really bad.
Astronomical.
Like, it's, to this day, one of the worst flops of all time because they called it the fucking Wii U. I'm honestly worried about the Switch 2 being the name. I think it's such a dumb name. It's so dumb.
Yeah. I feel like they could have put a little bit more planning into the name of it, honestly.
Yeah, Dean. It's like, it doesn't feel like we're getting like a hardware update, but we're not really getting I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird choice. To me, it's like the choice of Xbox One. Xbox One was a really bad naming choice. So fucking bad. It was retarded as fuck.
Isn't it? So the Switch 2, isn't it coming out and it's like black controllers and everything? It's supposed to be really sleek, if I remember correctly.
Dude, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the freaking Switch Onyx would have been a great name. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so good. Dude,
Hire me, Nintendo.
Dude, or just don't name it Switch, dude. Just name it the Onyx. The Nintendo Onyx.
Name it the Onyx.
Just like you have so many choices. Why the fuck are you naming it a Switch 2? It's just so dumb. It's the same problem that they had with the Wii U. There's going to be like your Walmart American parents, bro. They're gonna buy games for the Switch 2. And
to be fair, to be fair, we have you know the PS4, PS5, and all that, you know, and then we also have the Xbox that said, hey, what's a cool console? Oh, the Xbox One X. Okay, well, how about this new one? Oh, let's change the Xbox One to Xbox Series, and we keep the X.
Yeah, that I think that was dumb too, and I think that's hurt Xbox because of it.
Yeah,
but the PlayStation's always had a number after, always.
Right.
So now
they built their brand off of that.
So this is now the Nintendo Switch 2, and I just see it like you already have a Switch. Why do you need another Switch? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna get the PS5 and they're like, oh, so this is the newer version. This is like the more powerful version. Okay, because that's like established. You know, it's established. I don't know if it's gonna actually affect it or not. I can't be 100% because we're in a whole different world than we were back in the Wii U days. And I feel like they didn't even advertise the Wii U that much. They just kind of fucking dropped it. It just appeared one day.
I don't remember even seeing commercials for it, honestly. You know, or any sort of ads in papers. Any of the, you know, back when we saw ads and we got grocery ads and whatnot. Gosh, I'm old.
Yeah, that's I remember that. You would get a comic book, and the comic book would have all the ads for what you were interested in. Because the internet was like a fucking weird thing that only had one purpose, and that was to find porn.
That's right. And then only, and then if somebody called your phone, you were cut off. You know.
Oh, dude. You know what's funny? So I had the PSP, right? That was my first PlayStation device ever. Was the PSP. I got it, and my neighbor didn't have didn't have password Wi-Fi. So I would literally lean against my wall in my bedroom and like put the PSP against it and like search whatever I wanted and be like, oh my god, and then I'd wait for like 6 minutes for it to load. Just that because my parents didn't have internet. So it was literally just me leaning up against the wall like fucking young King Jiffy, just fucking smashed against the wall, hoping he'd get to see a pixelated tit.
On a PSP.
On a PSP, bro, yeah, because it could connect to the internet.
I had one of those. That screen wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, dude. The PSP, though, shit on the...
Oh, so I do miss my PSP. I miss it.
I don't think I could play it, though, now. I look back at it and see that it only has one joystick, and I played some of the games on the PlayStation Plus program, and I'm like, oh, I gotta look around with the fucking buttons. Ugh.
Ooh, D-pad.
Yeah, dude, the fucking D-pad, bro. Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't think I could go back to the PSP ever again, but it was a fun era.
It got me through a lot of, you know, car rides.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I played so much Grand Theft Auto. Dude, Manhunt 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You saying dada?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get through this.
May have done better.
The rest of DaBaby Reacts.
This is by no means to say that the GameCube was a bad console, but unless you were a die-hard Nintendo fan desperate to play the next generation of Zelda or Mario, there really wasn't a reason for you to pick one of these up unless you found one on a stupidly cheap sale or something. The Nintendo GameCube is one of my favourite consoles of all time. Its charm and character, an amazing list of first-party exclusives, and one of the most comfortable controllers of all time, by the way, helps get it...
He's right, dude. It had a great first-party lineup, and this is my problem with Nintendo, and I think this is something that I've always appreciated that Xbox has done, is each generation, for the most part, you can play the games from the last generation. And Nintendo and Sony have been really bad about that. And it makes it so it's hard to go back to these old games until they just willy-nilly throw it at you for $40. It's why emulation's so big, you know? It's like they don't care about their old games, and it sucks because I would happily, and I know Mario Sunshine's on the Switch, but they released it in that 3 Mario pack that had like all 3 of those Mario games, and it was only on a short release window, and it costs like hundreds of dollars now because people bogarted it because it was a short release. They basically did that on purpose so it'd be rare.
Yeah.
I hate that shit, dude. I hate that shit. Just fucking release the game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And or don't hide it behind one of your fucking specialty programs like your internet program like you and PlayStation does. Like Game Pass, you can buy every game separately from Game Pass. And I hate that Nintendo and Sony use it to paywall.
That's so hostile in many ways.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so
hostile
anti-consumer
to the player.
Mm-hmm. All I want is I have Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch, and it's good, but it's no Luigi's Mansion 1. And I would much rather play Luigi's Mansion 1, but it's like not on there, or if it is, it's like paywalled. And I'm not gonna get the fucking online playing for the Switch because it sucks. I don't know anybody who's like, oh, dude, you gotta fucking play the online multiplayer on the Switch, dude. It actually works. Nobody said that. It's literally got so many problems because people say it's the worst.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's on a cell phone GPU.
Mm-hmm. And what can you expect, though, you know?
Yeah. It sucks, though, because I look back at the GameCube, and the GameCube had some of the best games, bro. I'm not even kidding. The controller is amazing. My sister still has our GameCube, so when we go over to her house, like, the Mario parties that were releasing on the GameCube were the best Mario parties to ever release. Fucking the Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion were goated as fuck. Like, I played that Mario Wonder. What's the one on the Switch called? Mario Odyssey. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mario Odyssey.
I played that. It doesn't hold a fucking candle to Mario Sunshine. Mario Sunshine is so good. So fucking good. No pulling hair.
Oof.
She's getting to where no pulling hair. We're supposed to start introducing no, so sorry about that.
To the top of my.
It's okay. I stopped doing what I was doing.
Rev's like, I'm sorry, I won't be a bad boy anymore.
I'm sorry, Jiffy.
My list, but from what we've looked at today, there's a very clear reason as to why it sold so poorly and why there's an ever-growing cult following for it today. We can clearly see all of its flaws, but I'd really love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the Nintendo GameCube? Did you have one while you were growing up? Did you get one recently? Have you never experienced one? And just let me know what you think. I have one, I love it, and it's great. But that's it for today, folks. If you like this video, please subscribe.
I mean, he's got such good editing, such good, he does really good audio. The music's perfect. The dude's talented as fuck. I think he needs to do a little bit better on his thumbnails. A little bit better on his thumbnails, but but other than that, I think he's pretty talented. I do think that the lack of understanding about like what the other consoles were doing at the time, because you can tell that he's a Nintendo focused gamer.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to, even if you don't like the other vehicles of gaming, you need to understand them to make these arguments. It's like understanding your enemy or whatever.
Right. I would also think he might need to change his title out too. What I'm looking at, he could probably do something a little different with that.
Yeah, the title needs it's like why the GameCube failed.
It needs some pizzazz.
It does. It definitely does. The why it failed is kind of because like he has another one that I watched part of. It's called Why the Switch 2 Won't Be Boring. That's a good title. Really good title.
I'd watch that.
It's like even the Nintendo Switch 2 finally revealed in-depth analysis. It's just wordy. It's wordy.
Yeah, it becomes word salad, you know, at some point, and that overwhelms you a lot.
Yeah, I try to keep mine really short, and I think you can get away with it more when you're bigger because people know your channel and they're like, oh,
most of the time they're clicking for you, you know, so
exactly, they're clicking for you, and they're also reading. They read that title card to see what we're going to be listening from you that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know of YouTubers that have
flung around in the early 2000s,
the word salady titles, and I look at their channels and I'm like, okay, I know who these guys are. I'm gonna look at I see this, and like right here, I'm on my screen right here. It says why I hate DJ Academics, grooming, lies, manipulation. He added all this stuff in. Normally I would see that normal YouTuber would put why I hate DJ Academics. Doesn't need the other stuff, but it's Brandon Buckingham, so I already know who he is. It's like I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna be like, okay, it's Brandon Buckingham. What's going on with this guy? Oh, okay, this is the stuff he's gonna be going into, but I already know who the fuck he is. And like blame the voters.
You already know what he's about and all that stuff. So
responding to Democrat criticism, shoe on head. It's like. I'm gonna click on her video because it's shoe on head. But yeah, I think you're right with the pizzazz thing.
Yeah, I mean it's just it doesn't have to be that over the top, you know. But just a little bit different wording and how he had it, I think will do wonders in at least the title department. And like you said, I think there's some stuff with the thumbnail that needed to be changed. Not like I'm talking about that like I'm some, you know, expert, but.
Oh, it's easy to do when you're sitting in a chair watching it. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, even my videos, I look at these and then I look at my videos and I'm like, okay, this is what I could be doing better, and I'll implement it. I will implement it, but like I'll look at my past ones and I'm like, well, they're already out. So what am I gonna do about it? I mean, that's the thing too. Is even if he watches this and it's like neither of us are saying this stuff out of malicious. It's both stuff that we know we could work on better too.
Look, I'm on the small YouTuber grind just like you know, so it's you know, it's part of the learning process. We've been there, you know, so and are still there and are, you know, are continuing to learn alongside of it. I appreciate sort of the critique that I get from you or from Snail or from anybody, and I think that I would want somebody, you know, I want people to do that for me. I think maybe he would want that as well. I think I interjected. I apologize for that, Jiffy.
No, dude, you're perfect. I interject anytime you want to. When I have you on, you're here to be a part of the show. And
I'm so timid.
You're just as important as I am, and I know I will steamroll through anything. That's why I will just keep rambling, and I've been trying to pause to make sure that I give you area to breathe that I'm usually bad at.
Yeah, I'm very much think out what I say first. I'm very particular about what I say, you know, until my brain absolutely loses it and I stutter all over my words and fry right on screen.
That's part of the fun, bro. That's part of the fun. That makes it better. I literally have a baby shouting.
This has been really good. Yeah, this has been really, really good for me. You know, one, being able to just be on stream with you, but also learning how to talk stream of consciousness. You know, while we are watching videos or doing what we are playing a game, I actually take notes on how you do things, and not like literally like with a pen and paper, but like, you know, just
mental
notice
notes.
things that you do, and yeah, mental notes. And so I've learned a lot from just sitting in streams as well and talking.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel like I will lose my train of thought so easy, and I just mash things into the next talking point so fast without even them being attached. And right now I'm all going on a tangent because I'm looking at the President Trump banned pronouns by Asmongold, and I'm looking at Trump's fucking eyebrows, and they're wild. There's some wildly fuzzy eyebrows.
Yeah, there's some wild eyebrows, dude. He's got some caterpillars, you know?
He's got that fucking I'm 90,000 years old caterpillar eyebrows. But Rev, I'm going to let you go because I have to pee really bad. Really bad.
All right.
And I am going to bed. I love having you on, man. We'll have to do it again.
I appreciate it. I always enjoy it, Jiffy.
Bye. All right, chat. I'm out of here too. I gotta pee. I gotta get out of here. I gotta give my wife the baby. Savannah, say bye. I said bye, chat.